get these, right? Or I get a no, or I get a maybe, not, no, I'm not coming, they'll say, no, she's not coming. So that's what I got. All right. Good evening, good evening. Madam Clerk, I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'm gonna please ask that everyone, please put your phones on silence or vibrate, okay? Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Municipal Council, I welcome you all to our regular meeting. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for Municipal Council regular meeting of April 12, 2022 at 7 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz, Councilwoman Khan.
Here.
Councilman Jackson, Councilman Kalik.
Here.
Councilman Mendez, Councilman Mims. Here. Councilman Rivera, Councilman Velez.
Welcome, everyone. Yes, here.
Madam President.
Present.
Thank you. Madam President and honorable council members, this evening we have with us to render the prayer is Councilwoman Dr. Lalisa Mims, pastor of New Beginnings Christian Outreach Ministries in Paterson, and also to lead us in the flag salute is the Honorable Councilwoman Ruby N. Khan. Everyone at this time, please rise for the prayer and the flag salute.
Let us pray. God our Father, we thank you because this is the day that you have made, and so we rejoice and we are glad in it. God, we thank you that you're omniscient. We thank you that you're all-powerful. We thank you that you're all-knowing. We thank you just because you are God. So, God, we thank you for this meeting on tonight. You said in 1 Corinthians 14:10, let everything that be done decently and in order. So, God, we thank you in advance for this meeting. We thank you for the business of the city. We thank you for every resident of this city, that they'll be blessed going in and coming out. We pray for peace in our city, peace in our schools. We pray for our children, that they will get the education they so rightfully deserve, our seniors, our adults, our families, that there will be no more poverty and no more lack. And this is what we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. At this time, I'd like a moment of silence for our troops and for our 30-year, I believe it was 30 years, Joyce Pierce, who was working for the city. So a moment of silence for her and her family.
Commissioner Thaxton.
I'm sorry, absolutely, and Commissioner Thaxton as well. Thank you. You may have a seat. Madam Clerk, do you
Yes,
read the
yes.
statement of compliance, or do we have Councilman Velez do the quick presentation that he has?
Yes, Madam President. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law 2021 to 2022, meeting date April 12, 2022, time 7 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting was compiled and disseminated in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law in the following manner. 1. The annual notice of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council was compiled for the year 2021 to 2022 on or about July 1, 2021. 2. A schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly transmitted on or about July 1, 2021 to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, The Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Kiscader International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and Tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. 3. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was prominently posted in the lobby of City Hall, first floor, in the place reserved for the announcements of this type. 4, the schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly filed with the municipal clerk. 5, a copy of the schedule of the regular meetings of the Municipal Council was mailed to any person who requested and paid the fee authorized by the Open Public Records Act. Madam President.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Welcome. I'm sorry I didn't say this before. Welcome, council members. I'm sorry there's so much going on, and I know that Chairman Thaxton's of our Board of Adjustment, who's been with us for many years, I know that his wake and funeral was this past Sunday. So once again, my condolences to the family as well. At this time, we have a brief presentation by Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Madam President. The viewers at 77 Channel 32 of Paterson and those in the audience, welcome again to our council meeting. And this is a great day in Paterson. I'm just going to read this, okay? And I took it from NorthJersey.com. But it's good to read because it's not a lot I'm going to read. It's a big article, but it had made impact in the city of Paterson, and that's what Paterson is all about, making positive news all the way around the world, and that's a good thing. Paterson, New Jersey, Isabella Gonzalez, Senior International High School, became the 10th student from the Paterson Public School accepted on Ivy League College in the past decade, with her recent acceptance to Harvard University. Her quote is, "I had dreamed of Harvard since I was 8 years old," Gonzalez said in a new release last week. The campus, the chances to work and study under Nobel Prize winner, and the many opportunities that come with attending Harvard were all are parts of why I want to attend for school. So she made her dream come true. And one of the things that broke my heart, like in joy, is when she received that notification in the car, she can hold and she scream and hug her family and everything. Ladies and gentlemen, introduced to the city of Paterson, our winner to go to Harvard, full college, VIP, Isabella Gonzalez. And her lovely families and friends, come forward. Isabella Gonzalez, for your achievement in pursuing higher education. And I hope you come back. As you say, you want to study political science, you will be probably the next mayor, and then the governor, and then the president of the United States, as you said. By steps, but you have to pursue the education that you are pursuing in Harvard University, and it's a wide qualified university that is proud to attend there. So, on behalf of myself, you receive citation recognition for you. Thank you. Also, from our council colleagues, leadership by our council president. Thank you. And also because it's not politics what I'm doing, okay? I also request citation from the mayor of the city of Paterson to receive one also in my behalf, in his behalf, okay? So, I always gonna say this, you have to knock the doors to people that care about Paterson. And she don't know about this. But as soon as I find out about this, I knock one door. And that door say yes, count with it. So I just say, Shaw Florio, I need you to honor this young lady with a scholarship. So ladies and gentlemen, John Florio is giving you a $5,000 check for your scholarship, and you could go and enjoy Harvard University. Thank you. That's your check.
Some words. Thank you.
Yes, I am. So let me give a word to the scholar.
Well, first, I want to thank everyone for allowing me to be here in front of everyone, and thank you so much for the scholarship and for honoring me today. One thing that I do want to talk about is the village that got me here. I always say, and I've been taught, that it takes a village to get somebody somewhere, and sometimes the village isn't recognized. My village is behind me. My mom, she raised 3 kids on her own. my sisters and my best friend Lorelis and Juan, who've been with me every step of the way, and one of my mentors, Mr. G, who couldn't be here tonight. But most importantly, I joined the Upward Bound Trio program my sophomore year. They work to help low-income and first-generation students go to college, and that's what they did. So I'm going to thank my mentor here today, Mr. Leandy Gonzalez, right here in front of everybody. Upward Bound has been the thing that has gotten me here. Mr. Gonzalez was the one who edited my essay to Harvard. I wouldn't be able to be here without the village that stands behind me, who continue to stand here next to me tonight. And I just want to say, for anyone in here that has kids, or for anyone who has grandkids or family members who are in this process, they need somebody to believe in them. We seem very confident on the outside, we seem very overachievers on the outside, but sometimes we need somebody to remind us that we're worth every minute of it. Being in the city, we struggle with losing some of our closest friends to what's going on the streets. We struggle with not everyone going to college, and being here tonight with the people that love me and the people who have been helping me, I was able to achieve that. So I just want to give a big thank you to the city who has shaped me to be the person that I am, the city that I wrote about in my college essay, and to all the people that stand with me today. And I hope that, I wish the best for every single person. And once again, thank you so much for having me.
Round of applause. And let me say something quick. Venezuela and Arab, right? Yes. God bless Paterson. That's what Paterson means. So, ladies and gentlemen, shake their hands to my colleagues. Thank you, Council President. Another round of applause to this young lady. She deserved that and more. God bless you.
Thank you.
Anytime. God bless you. You better do good. I get you more too. All right? You too. God is good. Yes. Listen, when I saw it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so just for the record, we're kind of not going to go in order of the agenda. I do have some council members that do have other commitments that will need to leave earlier than normal, so we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to,
We have the payment
sorry,
of
I
bills.
just want to make sure.
You don't want to do payment of bills, Council President?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, I have to do item 30 first before 29, correct?
Yes,
Is
there's
that
one
how
that
it
has
was?
to be done, yes.
Yes.
It's
So, Madam Clerk, if we can please take item 30 first.
30.
30.
Yes. Yes, Madam President. Next item on the agenda is under a non-consent item number 30, resolution authorizing calendar year 2022 emergency temporary appropriations, American Rescue Plan funds, administration resolution 22269.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Councilwoman Mims and
Coun-
second by Councilman Velez.
Council President.
Councilman?
This is for appropriation, right?
Correct, and
And,
before we can do 29.
oh, 29,
appropriating
okay.
the money, we can't.
So we doing separate, that will tie it
We
up this
have to
one?
do 30 first
Okay.
and then 29, and I do know that 29 needs to, it has to
Correct.
co-sponsored, right, by
Correct.
the council, so I
Thank-
know that.
all right, thank you.
All right, so Madam Clerk, roll call on item 30, please.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call on item number 30 for approval. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Pass.
Councilwoman Khan.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 30 is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Item 29.
Yes, Madam President. Next item is item number 29, resolution authorizing a drawdown from the City of Paterson's American Rescue Plan funds for up to $2 million for premium pay for essential workers, supplementing the $2 million previously authorized. This is sponsored by Council President Davila. Administration Resolution 22268.
So moved.
Second.
Council
Second.
President.
One second. I'm gonna make the amendment. Moved by Councilman Velez and second by Councilwoman Mims and Mendez and Cotton. Okay. Before we do a roll call, Madam Clerk, actually to Corporation Council, it should read sponsored by Council President and co-sponsored by the rest of the council, if that is okay. I know the majority here told me that they wanted to co-sponsor. Okay, very well.
Thank you, Council President. Absolutely.
So we'll make that arrangement. So roll call, Madam Clerk, on item 29.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call on item number 29 for approval. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to commend our Council President for pushing this forward with the administration. I know you called me up. We had a thorough discussion about this, but she definitely wanted to push this through for our employees, and I'm happy to hold Council's co-sponsor. But Council President, I give credit where credit's due, so my vote is yes.
Councilwoman Cotton.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Clerk. This is additional money for what they call premium pay. All of us as council people really was fighting for all you city employees out there to get this premium pay money. So it was very important to all of us sitting here, because we've all been asking about it, So with that being said, I'm so happy that we're finally able to get it done. I don't know when the check's gonna be cut.
The second
But,
round,
and let me
Councilwoman.
make it clear, council members are not getting any of this money. Let me just make it clear, council members are not getting any premium money. I just want to make sure that people don't misunderstand and thinking that we're getting some money too, and we're not. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's just the right thing to do, Madam President. As soon as I have, we spoke about that, I was in full support of that. We got to do more for our workers, our essential workers that put their life on the line during this pandemic. That's the least that we could do. Compensate them the right way. And it's still not enough, but we're moving in the right direction. My vote is yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mims.
So I remember when the discussion first was held, and I sent the article where Jersey City gave their employees $10 million. And I made it clear and put it on the record that that's what should have taken place from the beginning. If we do things right the first time, we won't have to do roundabouts. So with that being said, we should always make sure that our employees are first, not giving them peanuts and making sure they get what they rightfully deserve. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Velez.
Well, as Councilwoman at Large, Dr. Mims stated, if you could go on the record when I put on the floor a request to add more money into the funds for the hazard pay. The only problem we're facing now, and I hope this administration understand, that we want across the board be fair, not DPW receiving less than this office and this and that. Be fair across the board, because everybody live was on risk and in danger with COVID-19. So hopefully, if we have to come back and assign 2 more millions, I will be happy to see it, because it goes towards the employees of our city that had risk. They are alive, while others was probably sleeping at home. My vote is yes to this.
Madam President.
So, Councilwoman Cotton stated that, every council person here has been advocating for the additional premium pay. Absolutely, that is true. I wish that we were in the position of Jersey City, where they don't receive transitional aid, so they can do a little more. But with that said, the original conversation, we wanted 5 million. But we were also seeing, right, that at least we wanted the administration to put something aside. But we didn't say it was just 2 million. It could be more, but we didn't want it to be less. And I know the first time that we sponsored Councilwoman Mims and Councilwoman Cotton and Velez, we were like, okay, we got to do this, at least to put some money aside. Again, I'm going to put it on record. It was not to state that that was what the number was going to be. From the 5, at least we were able to put 4. So I am happy to see, and I've gotten a lot of phone calls from employees just saying thank you, right? They got their first half. The first $2 million was distributed already, which we approved already, so those checks were given on Friday. And I believe that in the next pay, CFO, the second round of the checks. And so it was done in tiers. I, for one, I've had people contact me, I didn't get anything, right? We, the council, don't get involved in the day-to-day operations. That's the administration. But I took it upon myself to have a sit-down with Madam BA, and I said, I need you to explain to me exactly how you did this and how you came up with these numbers. So when I saw the first round, I was like, wow. You know, and again, understanding there are people through contractually, DPW workers for the most part, received some monies back in, I believe, in 2020. That was contractual. So there was conversations, oh, people got this amount, that amount. I don't want to get into that. I stuck to tell me how many employees are going to receive something and tell me how you came about it. And so with that said, you know, it was done with hours, right? So depending on the amount of hours, and actually I shouldn't be saying this. I know I'm voting. Probably you should put it on record on the process and how it went. But all I will say is this. When I looked at the numbers, I asked my colleagues, we should push would-be support as a council to the additional 2, and we're gonna press on it. Well, I wanted the 3, but you know, they were like, no, 2, because we need to put some money in some other places. With that said, all right, those that were going to receive 1,000 will not receive 2,000. Those that were going to be at a certain amount of hours would receive 1,500, they'll get 3,000, and those that were at the 2,000 would get 4,000. And I will say this, when I saw the list, 1,350 employees, there are people that fell short, but let's keep it real and let's be honest. There are people that didn't get it because they started working after the time period. That's one. Number 2, there were individuals that were not here. Most of their work was done from home. So that, I would say, is not fair, and it's not equitable to be paying someone who was sitting at home the same as someone like our DPW workers that were here every single day. The other thing that I asked the administration, I said, Madam BA, is anyone from the cabinet, anyone, any director getting any premium pay? And she says, we are treating this just like we don't want any scandals, overtime, any of that. The cabinet and no one is receiving any additional monies. Only those that are in the different bargaining units. Am I correct? So with that said, okay, I'm happy that we as a council came together once again. This is what happens when you come together and work together. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes, and yes, yes, yes for our city employees who work so hard on every single day of the year. With that said, Madam Clerk, yes.
Thank you. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 29 is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much.
Council President. Council President.
Oh, okay, so let me go, because I know the councilwoman, I know that you two have to leave, okay? And what, can council members, I understand, please. I know that you, I know.
We're breaking fast. Let us vote. We got to break fast.
Okay, so, one second, please, absolutely. These items will go very quickly. Madam Clerk, 31?
Yes, Madam President. Next item is item number 31, resolution addressing the renewal of a motor vehicle junkyard license for Hector Stefanelli, H&A Auto Parts, located at 16 Bloomfield Avenue in the 6th Ward. Finance, Resolution 22-270.
So move.
Second.
Move by Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Abdelaziz and Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item 31 for approval.
Roll call on item number 31 for approval. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan?
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 31 is hereby adopted.
Item 32, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next item is item number 32, and item number 32 reads, resolution authorizing a contract with First Priority Group under the New Jersey State Contract for the purchase and installation of emergency equipment and accessories for the fire department Fire Resolution 22271.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman, one second, Councilman Velez, and second by Councilwoman Mims and Cotton. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item 32.
Roll call on item number 32 for approval. Councilman Abdelaziz. Councilwoman Khan.
Yes.
Councilman Kalik.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 32 is hereby adopted.
Count.
Yes, payment of bills, Councilman. Is that Councilman Kalik?
Thank you, Council President. Summary of disbursement, total payment is $50,446,799.97, which include a pension payment of $29 million. Also, there is a payroll of close to $7 million. No solid waste.
So move.
So I move it.
Moved by
Second.
Councilman Kalik, second by Councilman Abdelaziz. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on payment of bills. Please let the record reflect that these payment of bills are 2 weeks. Last week's and this week. Roll call, Madam Clerk. on
Yes,
payment of
Madam
bills.
President. Roll call for payment of bills in the amount of $50,446,799.97. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan?
Madam Clerk, please, let the record show that I must
Recuse.
excuse myself. Thank you.
Okay, let the record reflect that Councilman Cotton had recused herself from this payment of bills. Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
So before I vote, first and foremost, let me let the public know, I've already alerted Council President that I will be leaving early right after this vote. I have another engagement, but I wanted to make sure that I was a part of some of the important votes on tonight before I leave. I also want to congratulate one of my former students from School 21. So happy she was a scholar in School 21, and to see her going off to Harvard is such an honor. When she came by, she said, "You're Dr. Mims from the office in the building." So it's so great to see these students grow up and go on to do great things. So with that stated, my vote is yes. God bless the city, and God bless everything that will happen on tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
So I got a lot of things come from public schools. That's a good thing. My daughter attended School 21, so yes. So yes, my vote is yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 2 absent. Let the record reflect that Councilwoman Cotton had recused herself from the payment of bills. Therefore, payment of bills is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much. Madam, can we do the consent agenda?
Yes, Madam President. Next item on the agenda is our consent agenda items. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the council and will be enacted by one motion. The items listed on the consent agenda are numbers 6 through 28. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda by the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter.
Council President,
move.
before you make a
Second.
motion,
So move.
I have to remove an item.
Okay.
So, Council President, I'm requesting that we remove 21 from the consent agenda, but not for, we want to send it back to committee. There's a lot of issues
Understood.
with number 21,
Okay.
and then we'll bring it back. So
Okay.
21 removed from consent and the agenda if possible.
So Madam Clerk, let
Yes.
the record reflect,
Yes.
we're going to remove item 21, so the consent agenda
Yes, I
will
have it,
be
Council
item
President.
6 through 28, excluding 21.
Yes. Is
So
there a
move.
motion?
So move.
Moved by Councilman Velez and second by Councilman Abdelaziz. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on items 6 through 28, excluding 21 from the consent agenda.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call on the consent agenda, items 6 through 28, with the exception of item number 21. Councilman Abdelaziz? Yes. Councilwoman Khan? Yes. Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez? Oh, you stepped away, sorry. Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
Yes.
Madam President?
Sorry, yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. Items 6 through 28 on the consent agenda, with the exception of item number 21, is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, we're going to do second reading ordinances, item number 1.
Yes, next item is item number 1, These are our second reading ordinances. Item number 1, public hearing is required. Ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 473 of the City of Paterson Code to require the replacement of lead service lines within Paterson. Department of Public Works, Ordinance 22037.
So move.
Second.
Move by Councilman Velez and second by Councilwoman Mims. The public hearing is now open on item number 1.
See none, move to close.
Second.
Seeing none, move to close by Councilman Abdulaziz and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to close the public hearing on item number 1 in second reading.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the public hearing. Item number 1, Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan.
Let the record reflect that Councilwoman Cotton is recusing herself from this item.
Oh, she's recusing from
Yes.
this one, okay, as well. Okay.
You're getting your steps.
Councilman Kalik,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes.
Councilman Mims,
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Madam President,
Yes.
the vote is 6 in favor, 2 absent. Let the record reflect that Councilwoman Cotton recused herself from item number 1. The public hearing is now closed on item number 1.
Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item number 1 for approval.
Roll call on item number 1 for second reading. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Let the record reflect that Councilman Cotton has recused herself from item number 1. Councilman Kalik,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims,
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Let the record reflect that item 473-14 notice, if you have a waiver in place, just in case you see a bill, you can come to the administration and request that waiver to that bill removed from your bill. My vote is yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 2 absent. Let the record reflect that Councilman Cotton has recused herself from item number 1. Therefore, item number 1 is adopted on second reading.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. If we can do items 4 and 5, first reading.
4 and 5.
Item number 4 and then 5.
Yes. Next item is our first reading ordinances. No public hearing is required. Item number 4 reads an ordinance establishing procedures and standards regarding deployment of small, no, this is wrong, sorry. This is different, Council President.
First reading, that's correct. Procedures and standards regarding deployment of small wireless.
Small wireless facilities in public rights-of-way in the City of Paterson, Department of Public Works.
Can I have a motion?
So move.
Move by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Kalik. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item number 4 for first reading.
Roll call on item number 4 for first reading. Councilman Abdelaziz.
No.
Councilman Kalik.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims not there. Councilman Velez.
Let me tell you, this was discussed at the DPW committee real deep. And while we want to make sure that nobody comes to the city of Paterson and polls all over without no accountability or responsibility. So this will protect the city and also in some aspect will bring revenue to the city of Paterson. So my vote is yes.
You want me to come back?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Councilman Cotton, we are voting on item number 4 for first reading. Ordinance establishing procedures and standards regarding deployment of small wireless facilities in public right-of-way in the City of Paterson. For
Thank you,
first
ma'am.
reading. For first reading.
For first reading. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I happen to be sitting in on DPW when the gentleman brought this item up. And what has happened is it's been happening in other cities throughout this country. And we want to get a grip on it before you'll see stuff all over the city, poles with, you see some of these houses that got them big things on top of them for Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it, 5G or whatever G. So we have to get a grip on it before.
Fight you, whatever it
It's
is.
a G. It's a G in the alphabet, Walter.
I mean, we need to, I can see it, and our gentleman here from the DPW, he explained it very well, because it's happening in other states, it's happening in other cities, that you can wake up one day and you have stuff all over the streets, and so we have to get a grip on it. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Madam President.
IG or whatever it is.
I couldn't even think of his name, oh goodness.
Madam President, your vote.
My vote is yes on item number 4 for first reading.
Thank you. The vote is 5 in favor, 1 against, 3 absent. Item number 4 is hereby adopted on first reading.
Thank you very much.
Second reading and public hearing will be held at the next regular meeting of April 26, 2022 at 7 p.m.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Item number 5 for first
Yes,
reading?
next item is item number 5 for first reading. No public hearing is required. An ordinance establishing handicap parking spaces at various locations on city roads. And the locations are 361 East 21st Street, 449 East 30th Street, 19 North 9th Street, 143 North 9th Street, 404 Sussex Street, and 56 Webster Avenue, Department of Public Works.
So move.
Moved by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilwoman Cotton. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item number 5 for first reading.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call on item number 5 for first reading. Councilwoman Khan. Number 5.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. Item number 5 is hereby adopted on first reading. Second reading will be held at the next meeting of April 26, 2022 at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much. So, Madam Clerk, I'd like to take items 2 and 3 as second reading, but they're all, it's an ordinance establishing handicap parking spaces for second reading.
Take them together, okay.
So I'd like you to read them both, items 2 and 3, and we'll do the public hearing for both at the same time.
Yes. Next items on the agenda is items number 2 and 3 for second reading. Public hearing is required on both. Item number 2 reads ordinance establishing handicap parking spaces at various locations on city roads. The locations are 306 Allison Street, 224 East 21st Street, 555 East 27th Street, 18 Rose Street, 149 3rd Avenue, 383 12th Avenue, 49 18th Avenue, 61 Montgomery Street, 201 Harrison Street, and 250 Harrison Street. Department of Public Works, Ordinance 22038. And item number 3 for second reading, ordinance establishing handicap parking spaces at various locations on city roads. And the locations are 286 Atlantic Street, 3 Cattis Court, 435 East 28th Street, 118 East 32nd Street, 178 Jackson Street, 72 Maple Street, 119 Marshall Street, 160 Mill Street, 148 North 5th Street, 490 Park Avenue, and 187 8 Slater Street. Department of Public Works, 22039.
So move.
Moved by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Kalik. The public hearing is open now on items 2 and 3.
Ready? Dave Gilmore, Paterson. I come to speak on this issue because it's just too much and not enough accountability on the issue of these handicap spaces. You can ride down any given street or any block and see 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces blocked for handicap. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have it, but I'm saying that we should have a cap on the number within a certain space. On one block, you can't do 10 handicaps. Where the other people going to park? There's got to be a cap. So I think there's got to be an opportunity here as well. You can't park anywhere for $75 for a whole year and get a reserved parking spaces. $1 a day. $1 a day for a handicap space. That might cut down on some of the fake ones and people abusing the process. If it's not $1, they make it 50 cents a day. That's $185 a year. Dollar a day is $365 a year for a handicap, for the privilege of having a reserved parking space in front of your house. I don't think it's too much to ask. We're a cash-strapped city, and we need to raise revenue. There is no increase of putting money in the till or lowering the taxes if you don't increase the revenue. There's got to be different methodologies used to do that. I think that's one. So and then we can also put a senior citizen discount on those handicap spaces as well, because I want to be sensitive to our seniors as well. But if you don't have a driver's license and you don't own a car, you don't get no handicap space. You have to be a driving person with a vehicle to qualify for the handicap space, or pull your car in the driveway like other people do. There's cars parked on the street with driveways. How do you do that? It's not right. So we got to raise the level of accountability. People talk about accountability. Well, here's an opportunity. Stand up, raise some revenue, and represent for the people that can't find a parking space. Thank you.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Now, there is a huge issue with handicap parking. I came down Ellison Street and counted them. 29 from Straight Street to East 18. That means 29 other people have to ride and ride to find a parking spot. Who is checking to see if those handicapped parking signs that are up, people that live there have a license and the handicapped parking spot belongs to them? I know of 10 houses that those people have died or moved, and those signs are still up. So we have to come up with a methodology of checking to make sure those people live in those properties. We have a parking problem in the city of Paterson. Okay? If you go out to eat or go to your favorite place to lounge, you have to ride 3 to 4 blocks to find a parking space because there are none. We also need to look at creating more parking, available parking for our residents. We have an overabundance of units without enough parking. So I'm hoping that this council would revisit the handicap ordinance to see what you guys can do to create a more equitable method of passing out these parking spots. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kimmy Freeman. I totally disagree with the two gentlemen that just came, and I got mad respect for both of them. I myself am now handicapped. My late father-in-law, he was handicapped. My brother's handicapped. And Paterson ranks #2 in the nation with people with disabilities. There are not enough handicap parking just downtown. There's not enough, yeah, we're #2, look it up. And the amount of people that I see, Dave, excuse me, I didn't say anything. You see the amount of people walking around town. A lot of people got canes. A lot of people got walkers. We have a lot of old people who don't have access to parking. Even if you don't have a license, you can get somebody to drive for them so they can have a space so they can park in front of their house, especially if you own a house. I don't think there should be any limits, especially if you own a house. You're paying taxes. You have to pay for the handicap spot. We had to wait a year and some change for the spot we got in front of our house. Now the people next door, God bless them, they're from Bronx. They got 6 cars. 3 of them is in their driveway. 3 of them is in front of their house. We got 1 handicap in front of our spot, and we got 2 more parking spots, and we got 2 more spots on the side of our house. I don't think there should be any limit. And we need to know how many handicapped people we have in the city. And like I said, as a homeowner, I'm gonna get another handicap spot. I never thought I would be handicapped, but because I've been talking about speeding for the past 12 years, and finally got hit by a speeding motorist for the 2nd time. You guys don't give out tickets for speeding. I would like to know, to be here, somebody, how many speeding tickets do we give out, and what's the revenue on that? Because on 17th and 18th Ave, I said you can make $1.2 million back in 2008 if you raised the rate for the speeding. You raised it up for everything else. I totally disagree with any limits on handicap parking, because these people, most of these people are handicapped. I don't know if they did or not, but most of them are over 60, like me, and I can't walk down the block to park. Thank God, we do have a driveway. My brother uses that. I do not agree with that. I will fight that. And guess what? Disabilities Act in the United States, I'm sure you ain't gonna be able to do that. Thank you.
All three of them got good opinions. And my opinion is Paterson, New Jersey is unorganized with the handicap parking. We need to create a staff. How you create a staff? By working together, by coming to the table that everyone always talk about. Come to the table. We need to come to the table as a community and as the political, and let's solve, because this is a issue. We need to come up with a solution. This is the third largest city in New Jersey. We should not be having this type of issue. And another thing, we need to have somebody to monitor this. When we come up with an issue, we need somebody to monitor, to create some type of office, to have at least 2 or 3 people in that office just monitor the handicap parking. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much.
I agree that we do have a problem here in handicap parking, but the problem starts with the planning and zoning. That's where we need to go. We're talking legislation, but the problem is planning and zoning is allowing new construction without parking. Now, I know that each one of you have someone assigned on the planning and zoning board. You need to talk to your people, because they're the ones that's allowing this problem, and it's only going to get worse this summer with all the new construction. And if we're going to start taking placards back, let's start with St. Luke. On the side of that church is maybe 9 handicap spots, and they have 2 parking lots within the church. They're across the street from School 6. How can they have 9 handicap spots on the street and then have 2 parking lots? And he's closing off one he doesn't allow anyone to park in. This special treatment for certain people is going to get a lot of people in trouble. So again, can we talk to our planning and zoning and maybe do some new legislation? Again, that is always our concern, that we like to see new legislation come from our council people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Move to close.
Move to close by Councilman Velez. Do I have
Second.
a second? Second by Councilman Abdulaziz. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Public hearing on items 2 and 3.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the public hearing for items number 2 and 3. Councilman Abdulaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And I definitely believe that the situation with the handicap, amount of handicap in the city of Paterson is a legitimate concern. Parking is extremely limited in the city of Paterson. And I would like to encourage those residents of our community that if they see that a handicap spot is not being used properly, please report it. Please, we see some repealing this area on some of the legislation, but still we have a lot of handicap. I think that there should be a conversation. I know that if a person need it and have if the doctor have all the paperwork in place, the law allow them to have a handicap. But at the same time, I like what Mr. Dave mentioned, maybe a limited amount per block. But there's got to be a conversation about this at the DPW committee, and I'm looking forward to definitely have this. With that being said, my vote is yes. Thank you.
Councilman Velez?
So I'm the chairman of DPW, and every time we have handicaps application coming for the committee before coming here to approve, we look into all the requirements that are in place to approve that designated space in our street. one of the things I always, and corporate counsel could attest on this, that we always try to look what we could implement that do not go against the Disability Act, a medical certification, and motor vehicle issuing the plaque. If we want to put more enforcement in place in the local level, the state legislator have to look deep into this and try to make sure that motor vehicle be more strict, even conduct an investigation to see how many doctors are signing this without medical record on it. And from there, we start addressing the issue that we have in the city past regarding the handicap. It goes from A to Z. But for now, we demand all the paperwork that is required, motor vehicle, medical certification, et cetera, et cetera. From there, the state had to be a little bit more strict. I don't know if you recall way back, it was only a car. Now they punch a year and a month. So at least they improve on that. So we had to move forward in that. And also, just to wrap up on that and make my vote, DPW Traffic Division send letters to those that own a handicap spot. If they don't renew it, they remove the handicap, and also they also address the individual that reserve handicap parking space when they come back to work and park there and break the rules. So saying that, Councilman Maury was the one that came with the $75 of plaque reserve, so it was in us. So my vote is yes.
Thank you, Madam President.
So we're closing the public hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not going to repeat everything Councilman Vela said, but, I do agree with 98% of your message. Because in order for you to have what we call the reserved, it is not 75, it's 150 with the plaque. Okay, the handicap itself, anyone can park there in terms that has a handicap plate. But the reserved is 150. But with that said, my vote is yes to close the public hearing.
Thank you, Madam President. The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. The public hearing is now closed for items number 2 and 3.
Madam Clerk, roll call on items 2 and 3 for second reading approval.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call on items 2 and 3 for second reading. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I hear everyone's concerns, and I think it's been brought up many times to our state elected official of what we can possibly do to about the handicaps. I know they had said that the state were really on a lot of the doctors now who they had discovered were writing prescriptions for handicap, and they were starting to find those doctors. I mean, $10,000 may not seem like a lot, but if you get caught, they're starting to suspend their license for writing fraudulent handicap. The law doesn't allow us to deny once they have all the paperwork. The law does not allow us to not give someone a handicap. But I know that if anyone knows that someone has moved, I would just do my best to report everything. If you know that they're not there no more, if you know they went somewhere else, then you need to report those. And then, and our DPW person does remove a lot of signs. Sometimes signs will get removed because people are not even renewing them. And then the next thing, next 2 or 3 days later, they're calling because they didn't write a check like they were supposed to. So with that being said, Madam Clerk, I know that the state is looking into it more, especially finding the doctors. I know the state is doing that. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
You said it all, Councilman. You said it all.
I was going to add the 3% that you don't read. That's okay. I'm just kidding. My vote is yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. Items 2 and 3 is hereby adopted on second reading.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We're going to open up the public portion.
Yes, Madam President. Next item on the agenda is our public portion. We have 24 speakers, and our first speaker is Mr. Horatio McCoy. Please state your name and address for the record.
Second speaker?
Next speaker, Ms. Patricia Hillas. Hillas? Ms. Patricia?
Hold on. Horatio, we were waiting for you. My apologies.
Good evening, Council President,
Good evening.
Good evening.
council members, administration, to the audience, and those watching at home. Horatio McCoy, 3rd Ward resident and first-time speaker in the People's House.
Welcome.
Council President, with your permission, a 30-second extension might be needed, and thank you in advance.
Okay.
Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was inaugurated as the 42nd President of the United States on January 20, 1993. Newt Gingrich, a Republican, became the Speaker of the House of Representatives in 1995. Although a staunch Republican, it was Newt Gingrich's experience as a legislator and his collaborative effort and his ability to compromise with the Democratic president that allows the executive and the legislative branch of government to move the country forward during that time. The year is now 2022, and the city of Paterson will be having a municipal election in May that includes 3 council-at-large seats. There are 2 viable candidates on the city council running for re-election: Council President and Council-at-large Maritza Davila, and City at Large Dr. Lelisa Mims. I don't care about their political affiliation. Years ago, I sat in the mayor's chair, representing that office, addressing all constituents' issues, concern, and complaint, sitting beside the BA in many council meetings. Some even thought I was the mayor. I had the opportunity to work alongside both Davila and Mims and witness firsthand how those 2 individuals have demonstrated during their tenure as city-at-large members the legislative knowledge, the power, the authority, and objective to make laws affecting the city densely populous. And their collaborative and compromising effort working with the administration, having learned how things work and getting things done. They both have exhibit and illustrate proficiency in the knowledge of city government, city governance, and city governing, and their unwavering desire to serve. Council Member Davila and Mims have sat at the council table in accordance with rationality, with the power of the mind to think, to understand and to comprehend complex city matter, and form judgment by the process of logics and method of deduction, separating reason and emotion. President Maritza, you do remind me of Newt Gingrich in this sphere of intense political arena, and we thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
On May the 10th, 2022, I'm asking all Patersonians, including those who have tuned in tonight to this broadcast, to join me and re-elect Council Members Davila and Councilwoman Mims to regain their seat at the council table, for the continuity and progressiveness of city government and service. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Ms. Patricia Hillis. Patricia? Please state your name and address for the record, Ms. Hillis.
Good evening. My name is
Good evening.
Patricia Hillis. I'm a lifetime Patersonian. I live at 230 Cumberland Avenue. I'm here this evening because I have spoken to many, many people in reference to what's going on Cumberland Avenue. I've been there for 2.5 years. The speeding on that street, the potholes on that street, buses up and down, they're carrying our children. They're speeding. I have been in touch with my councilman. He has had the potholes filled, but I was told that the street was going to be paved. Here I am 2.5 years later, there's nothing done. And when I spoke to one of my neighbors, and I said, how come this is going on? Why aren't you speaking to your council people? He said, no one cares. And I said, no, I'm a Patersonian. I retired from Paterson Public Schools after 37 years. I have Paterson in my heart. And I called the mayor. He put me to his office. The gentleman said, we'll see what we could do. Here's my number. Call me anytime. I call the number, and it rings, and it rings, and it rings. Okay. I took it as far as emailing the mayor. I CC'd council president. I CC'd Khalif. I CC'd Senator Poe, hoping someone will please help us on Cumberland Avenue. The mayor put speed bumps by senior citizen housing so the seniors are safe. I'm a senior. And so are 8 and 10 other people on Cumberland Avenue. Not only are we seniors, but we have grandchildren who ride their bikes up and down the street. It's not safe. 2 summers ago, a car skidded to avoid a pothole, doing 45, 50 miles an hour, jumped the curve, and almost hit me while I was mowing my lawn. I'm sorry that Councilwoman Mims left tonight, because I even reached out to her 1 year ago in May and said, please call me. She said, I will call you tomorrow. She never told me what tomorrow, because to this day, I have not heard from her. And March 8th, she sat there and said, we are elected officials. We have to be there for our residents. When they call, we have to be there. She was not there. So is she all talk? Is everyone just talk? I'm very upset over this because I don't know where to go. Everyone I have spoken to, my emails, no response. No response. How do residents get through and get things done with their council people if they get no response? The mayor spoke almost a year ago about recycling containers. I called, let me get one. To this day, I don't have one. I called. They said, we'll call you when we're delivering them. And they hang up. How can you deliver to me? You don't know who I am. Something has to be done. You will talk about revenue? Put police officers on Cumberland Avenue. I'll tell you, I can bring thousands of dollars in one day. Something has to be done. And something, come May 10th, something has to be done for fresh people coming in, people that are going to care about the residents and be there for us. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't feel like council is there for me. Being a lifelong resident, I have reached out to council maybe 5 times, and this is the worst. The worst. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Mr. Gilmore. Please state your name and address for the record. Mr. Gilmore.
Good evening, Council, Madam Clerk, Administration, ladies and gentlemen. I have a couple of things I want to talk about this morning, but before I get to the highlight of what I'm going to talk about, let me say this. Along the lines of the premium pay that was just approved for an additional round, well, it wound up being 91 cents an hour, premium pay, over 700 hours. So in my office, when I was working, we had numerous people with COVID with the first month or two. And when they went out, or another person went out on disability and didn't reach the 700 mark and doesn't get anything. You got to do something for the people that were exposed, whether it was 10 hours, 50 hours, 100 hours, but not 700. That's just too many. The next thing I want to say is that a couple weeks ago, I came and withdrew my candidacy and petitioning process to run for the mayor, city of Paterson, because of my outstanding litigation, several lawsuits that I have against the city. And I thought at that time, the day I came, that day, the city did not supply the interrogatories requested for the federal case. I'm here today to tell you again, yesterday they failed to file the interrogatories again, of which I thought then, and confirm now, to push the case in activities beyond the election. Well, I'll tell you why they don't want this to come forward. They don't want it to come forward because when I went to Trenton and represented the city and brought back the $2 million for the low-interest loan program monies for then Mayor Torres, who was sitting here. I'm glad you're here, divine intervention again. Mayor Torres is sitting here. I went down there and got that money and brought that back and hand-carried it through and got the signatures for the $2 million of low-interest loan money. And I was the signatory on that process. But Art Factory, not the Art Factory, Armory, several hundreds of thousands of dollars added to the bill. I wouldn't sign it because they did not preserve the facade. I would not sign it. Leader Die. I got no progress payments on Leader Die to support exhausting all the money with hundreds of thousands of dollars left to work on that site. Hundreds of thousands to remedy the pollutants on the site. I wouldn't sign. 30, 40 different illegal apartments, basements, that I put and sent to the Attorney General, the prosecutor, and the FBI for illegal conversions. 700, at the time it was $200,000 in uncollected funds for stop work orders, has now exceeded $700,000, okay? I got an additional 2 minutes approved prior to the meeting. So I know why they want me out, because I want to follow the rules. I'm the one that's talking about public safety issues. The Art Factory, they stopped me right here from speaking. First and 14th Amendment rights. There were many of these people here were here that night when I was denied my opportunity to speak for public safety. So then I was labeled a scoundrel by Mr. Garcia from the Art Factory. He's the scoundrel. You know, he's putting people at risk, dangerously at risk. But the mayor wanted to have his inaugural ball there. Okay? So get rid of me, get rid of the tickets. You see what I'm saying? It's a process that needs to be handled. And lastly, I am so upset right now, and you should be too. What they did to this lady, the city clerk, to lambaste her, to accuse her of bias, to say she may have a borderline derelict in her job to ensure that the petitions turned in, duplicative after the first, were removed for the previous council person who had run on many years through the same process that everybody else ran on, because I ran in 2014. I know the process. Been there, done that. I just choose to remove myself so I can concentrate on my stuff. But I'm so upset. Where is the condemnation of what this mayor did in terms of going after this poor lady? I am so upset with that, and you should be too. They should have never done that. And now they're appealing it again. What are you doing? The same process you used and won with now is no good because you're scared other people are barking at your heels. You see what I'm saying? There's something wrong with that. So where are the, and again, thank you. Not just because she's a woman, but she's a woman of color. Where are the black leaders? Where are you? Where's the NAACP? Where are the churches and the other people in the community saying something about what you did to this lady? And it continues. It's a shame. They got a word for the individuals like that. The man is a shaitan. A shaitan. For those of y'all that know what that is, that means a devil.
Mr. Gilmore.
But that's what it is. It's shaitan.
Mr. Gilmore.
Left and right, back and forth and center. Shaitan sayer.
Madam Clerk, next speaker, please.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Mr. Rucker.
Madam President, I would like 4 minutes.
Madam Clerk.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I came here tonight for the clerk. For the clerk. I watched this horrible situation unfold in front of us. When do you go after your clerk who does nothing but the process that's in front of her? A process has been in place for over 2 decades. And as Dave said, the mayor won on this process for 20 years, and 4 years ago, he won for mayor, and the process was okay. You cannot eliminate challengers through trickery. This mayor is the worst mayor in the history of Paterson. Every trick in the book. Every trick in the book that he could find to eliminate challengers, he has used. This mayor is not just trying to win an election. He's trying to become another Frank Graves or Ed Engelhart. He wants to be a ruler. If you tick him off, he will set you up. Let's be honest about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a mayor. This is a dictator. And when he doesn't like what you say, he will not come in your presence. He will not meet with you. He will not talk to you. My wife, Charlotte Shepperson, will always speak to the mayor no matter what I say about him. But you know what he does to her? He turns his back. I wish I was there. I'd have put him on his behind. Because we're tired of a person that leads us always doing tricks. Oh, always with these tricks. How slimy can this guy get before the residents of the city of Paterson realize we have the wrong leader leading us? Now, I understand. I'm a very competitive guy. I do what I got to do to win, but I'm not a slimy cat. I don't let slime roll along with the campaign. I tell you what I believe. If you don't like it, you just don't like it. But you're going to hear it. I'm saying to you tonight, I will vote for the devil in hell before I vote for Andre Sayer. And let me say something to my community that's sneaking in his office every day. You're going to piss me off. I'm going to start naming names. I'm going to start naming names. Black people should understand you've got nothing from this man. Bangladesh got nothing from this man. Arabs got nothing. Taxes went up. Sewer taxes went up. How much more can we take from a slime ball? See, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I've been saying this for months and months on end. If I can't get nothing from you while you're in office, I can't get nothing from you after the election. And this man, who sits back, who runs this city, who is giving the money away left and right. We've had more money coming to this city after COVID than we've ever had in the history of Paterson. And we're almost broke again. Ladies and gentlemen, don't vote the same way you did 4 years ago. Vote for your own self-interest. Don't vote because the minister down the street tells you this is our candidate. Vote for what you see. You see plenty of buildings, but you don't see no clean streets. You got rats running around this town like it's a holiday. In closing, I'm asking all of you to look at me. Don't waste your vote on Andre Saya.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Ms. Sonia DeLise. Ms. DeLise. Please state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Yes, hi. My name is Sonia DeLise, and I live on Burlington Avenue. Good evening, council members, City of Paterson. The reason that I'm here is because I felt the need of showing a face to the name. My name is Sonia DeLise, and for those that don't know me, I am running for City Council at large. I am 9B in your ballot. I was born and raised in the city of Paterson. I have a business in Paterson, as well as I am a homeowner. Council members, it is not a secret that our city is known for its filth, high taxes, high crimes, and homelessness. That's just part of the problem that is very unfair for us, taxpayers. With that being said, I ask that the Paterson community get in contact with me if they want more details of me. My phone number is 862-310-7307. Unfortunately, my health didn't allow me to be in the forums from before, but I'm here now, and I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and step right in. So on May 10th, make sure you come out and vote 9B for a new council at large. Thank you.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next person is Mr. Jace Abreu. Jace?
Good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
My name is Jason Abreu, 972 East 23rd Street. And like Ms. Sonia, I'm running for council at large. I'm 3B on the ballot. And I'm also here to address some of the problem that is going on in the city. Our city is being mismanaged. I mean, you hear this every Tuesday here. Every Tuesday you hear a problem, and nothing gets done. High crimes. Crimes have taken over the city, and nobody do nothing. Taxes keep going up. When they're campaigning, they tell you that taxes are not going to go up. They're going to stabilize the taxes, and they're going to fight for the crime, and they're going to fix the streets, and they're going to clean the city, and they're going to do everything they say they're going to do. Once they elect it, you don't see them, you don't hear them, you hear nothing from them. This May 10th, people, Paterson, it's May 10th. We need to make a change. We talk about just the administration and mayor, but we also need to make a change in the city council. I think it's time to make this change. This is the year to make a change, and let's make that change this year. May 10 is the election, and I hope to come with all your support. And if there's any questions or anything you guys need to ask, I'm here. My name is Jason Abreu. I'm 3B on the ballot. Thank you.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Next, Ms. Shanice Jackson. Jackson?
Hello.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Lower it a little.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
My name is Shanice Jackson. I'm a Patersonian, born and raised here. I came to make a complaint about Modell's Furniture Store. I bought a living room set, and they stole my living room set. But when the pandemic hit, the store shut down. Everything shut down. So when I went back to when they reopened, I went back to get it, and they brings me this living room set. I got COPD. That living room set was molded and mildewed. It had me barricaded in my bedroom. I had to call my granddaughter to come to the store, to go to the store to make them come take that out of my house. And now they refuse to give me anything. They want me to get something out of the same store. Once you cross the street right there, you can smell the mold and mildew. The city inspectors need to go in there. I mean, it's not fair. Yes, I want my money. Yes, I'm fighting for my money. I'm not gonna let them get away with that because that's my money. I worked, I paid for that. And I want my living room, now I don't want the living room, I just want my money from them. So I'm just asking y'all to send the city inspector into that store so they can smell the mold and mildew at Modell Furniture Store. Okay, have a good day.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, next speaker.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker is Mr. Teague, Mr. Corey Teague.
Good evening, Corey Teague, 65 Prince Street, Paterson, New Jersey. If I could take a point of personal privilege just before my 3 minutes start, just for a second, can we appreciate and give a round of applause for the very first African-American woman to be appointed to the Supreme Court, the Honorable Associate Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. That was a moment in history. We hope that she gets a lot done up there. We appreciate what's happened. So I'm here tonight for two reasons. The first reason is obvious. We are at day number 68, if I'm not mistaken, almost 70 days, and we still have not found or even heard or even had any information about the whereabouts of Felix de Jesus. Let me tell you why this is directly connected to the mayor. If you're running a city, because believe it or not, the police department, all these departments go through the administration. If I'm the mayor of the city and I'm running the city and somebody who had contact with my officers disappears, it now becomes #1 priority in my book. Not business store openings, not cutting ribbons, not going to award ceremonies, not kissing babies. My priority is to find the person who disappeared. And as mayor, as the chief executive of the city, your job is to shut everything down until you find out what happened in your police department. If you go on Google or on YouTube right now and you type in body cam footage, you will find millions of body cam footage videos on YouTube because they put it out there for people to see. Why? Because many of those police departments want to clear their name. So they figure they want to put it out there so people can see what happened and they can determine for themselves what the case may be. And they're hoping they could see something that would get them off the hook. That's why they really end up doing it in many instances. What's up with Paterson? If nothing really happened that night, then what is the need for an investigation? If it was a simple stop in the street, they arrested him, they sent him on his way, or they were like good neighbors and dropped him off at a special location and everything was well and there was no issues and there was no problems, why is there a need for all of this investigation? There's something wrong. You can't, excuse my expression, but you can't piss on people and tell them it's raining. The community knows something's wrong. And you all know something's wrong. Come on. You cannot possibly not think that something did not happen to that young man. And it's hard to keep an open mind. It's hard not to be pessimistic. It's very hard not to be pessimistic. You guys know I've been at this table for several families. And this is probably by far the most confusing case I've ever had. How a 41-year-old man who had an encounter with Paterson police, we know that much from the footage from the store, the guy disappears and nobody knows anything. And then they go and hide under the laws and under the statutes, trying to be cute to keep the family from knowing anything. Let me tell you, I'm in contact with this family every single day. all day long. So don't tell me that you spoke to them, because they're going to tell me you're lying. I'm just telling you that right now. Do not come to me, say, Corey, we already spoke to them, because I'm going to let you know you're lying. They are not satisfied with anything that's happened, and you're going to hear them say it themselves. I don't speak for them. They can definitely speak for themselves. They are not happy with what happened, and they're going to let you know that tonight. And until we find Felix, until we know we have some closure for this family, I'm going to keep nipping at your heels. I'm Corey Teague, Paterson, New Jersey.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, the next speaker.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker is Mr. Giovanni De Jesus.
All right, I'm here. As y'all can see, I got questions for this mayor. I have questions for who works with the mayor, hand to hand, working with the mayor in his office. One thing is, who speaks to the reporter? Me, I have a question for Mr. Javier Silva. You spoke to a reporter on February, correct me if I'm wrong, you told the reporter somebody got picked up around that area around that same time and got dropped off at 60 Temple. That was a lie. Because that same reporter that you spoke to, I spoke to him. He told me he went, he confirmed it, my brother didn't go there. What officers picked up what person that day around that time? Second thing is, for Mr. The lawyer, I don't know his name. So, I want to know what answers you have for me. Soon. It's 2 months and some change. I ran all these rivers, risking my life, my brother's life. Again, the other brother that I have missing, that you guys know where he at. The mayor got to know where he at. I don't want you guys to come here and keep telling me it's the investigation. I understand it's under investigation. Where is my brother? That's what I want to know. Another thing is, I want my full footage from these prosecutors. I don't want these 4 minutes of my brother asking for help. All right? I could show you guys the same way. Put him up there, those 4 minutes. Block them of my brother claiming that his arm is broken. Bring my brother back. My mother's suffering. Y'all all got kids. Y'all all have a mother. My mother is suffering right now. I'm in pain. My family's in pain. I'm holding a lot of pain. I wake up every single day as a leader to go to work. And I'm still out here to 9 o'clock at night working and searching for my brother non-sleep. Which one of the director, the chief, somebody have contacted me? These 2 rookie cops, as I'm speaking, 2 rookie cops have higher authorities above them. Who did they speak that night? Who did they talk to that night? What's going on here? Huh? What's going on here? You guys are hiding something? Y'all not going to throw this under the rug. Y'all definitely not. Y'all definitely not going to have a cold case with my brother. I want my brother back, and I want answer tonight from somebody, especially from Mr. Javier, that he spoke to a reporter. Just relax. So, you could go for the next speaker, because I don't even want to speak.
Madam Clerk, the next speaker.
Next speaker is Crystal Garcia.
Good evening, Madam President, City Council members, administrators, and corporate counsel. We are now 70 days into my brother-in-law's disappearance. Tonight is our 6th straight City Council meeting appearance, and our family still doesn't have any absolute answers from this administration, the Passaic County Prosecutor's Office, or the Paterson Police Department, or the Howden Police Department, which you guys keep continuing to say is the main lead. I would like to start with telling you that last week, the New Jersey State Police called me to say that they have exhausted all means in the search for my brother-in-law, Felix. Do you guys know what that means? If you don't know what that means they don't care that anything is happening. It is not their child, plain English. It is not their child, brother, mother, sister. They don't care. As in, they have exhausted all resources, meaning it's going to be a cold case. They're not looking for him anymore. They took 30 days to get dogs into the park, when we all know the first 48 hours is the most important into any case of missing. A kid just went missing in Fairlawn the other day, and they had the dogs, boats, search people, everything. First, we couldn't get a scuba team in. That was the first excuse. It was too cold, but these people are trained for this. You know, they love to do this. Now, after not being able to have the scuba team get in because it's freezing, right? Now, all of a sudden, the body won't be there. It would have traveled all the way down. Obviously, which is why you had to get the scuba team the first time them dogs detected anything. Of course, it's going to continue to run. But that was just a throw off. But I like to say everything so that everyone knows. Now, let me continue. On top of them saying that they couldn't do anyone, can someone explain to me, because this past February, we were all around the Passaic River searching for a body, and the cadaver dogs found the hit. But at the time, the police claimed, like I said, it was too cold. Well, guess what? Now that it's spring, they said we would have to wait till April. April's already here, still nothing. Now they're saying we're going to have to wait till May. After election, of course, right? So, that just to put that out there. Now, can someone in the administration or the prosecutor's office explain the New Jersey State Police position to my mother, because I certainly cannot. We are tired of hearing that the investigation will be completed soon, or that they are wrapping up the internal affairs investigation. We have been hearing that for a month now. I mean, what's really your definition of it? Because it's not matching the Webster's. The 4-minute video that the prosecutor's office shared with us 2 weeks ago just raised many more questions and doubts about the police department, insensitive handling, negligence, and poor decision-making with respect to the treatment of Felix de Jesus on the evening of February 2nd. One thing is for sure, the video proves that these officers used unreasonable and excessive force against my brother-in-law while he was apparently injured, pleading for help and under the influence on a cold blue night. Let's remember, our family and the community have come to the conclusion that the administration is stalling the completion and release of the internal affairs investigation. If I may, I need some more time. An investigation until after the May 10th mayor election. And this is the case. This is unacceptable. We demand that both Mayor Andre Sayeh and both County Prosecutor Camila Valdez be transparent with us and the public. Request that the Paterson Police Department wrap up this portion and the parallel internal investigation of both Paterson Police Department and the Prosecutor's Office that can continue the criminal investigation into what happened to Felix. It's been a little more than 2 months. Enough is enough. We refuse to wait until after election is over for these investigations to finally wrap up. Then itself adds another 4 weeks to our family's agony and desperation. In addition, that would add additional weeks of waiting due to the fact that Corporation Counsel and our lawyer would have to file the proper legal request through the prosecutor's office requesting for the release of the investigation results and all unedited video footages of Felix's encounter with the 4-month mark. Think about that, 4 months. How pain is unbearable. How do you sleep at night? We certainly for damn sure don't. The mayor's delaying the inevitable, and it would be far better for all parties involved to share the findings sooner rather than later. Mayor Sayeh, on the day you delivered the State of the City address back in March, you excited City Hall. You boldly addressed Mr. Corey Teague by saying to him, and I quote, "Do not make the Felix de Jesus case a political issue," and then ran off guarded by your security team. You didn't have the decency to allow Mr. Teague to respond to your statement. We now understand it's all about politics. It's about the election. It's about the politics that has no place. Politics has no place in this case when the life of a member of the community is at stake, especially when there was police negligence and poor decision making in this case. Remember, you hired these officers. You put them there. So you continue to put corruption more in. There was no call into the main base, but that means that there was a lieutenant, and just so happens the lieutenant that was swinging the baton in front of our house was the lieutenant that was on site that night. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, I know the schedule. The streets talk. right? So, as you guys are not continuing to help us, that lieutenant messed up putting them 2 rookies, one in a year, one less than 6 months. Let's just clarify a little bit, because I want you to know I know these rookies, okay? I just don't want I don't want you to hold any statements held accountable against me. I want everything to continue under investigation, as you guys say, as I continue my paper trail. We want to find our brother-in-law and bring him home. Please stop this pain and do the right thing. Complete and release all the findings of the internal affair investigations and release all unedited, uncut video footages, because you just proved and raise more questions by showing us and confirming you picked him up, you turned off your emergency lights, you never called it in. There must have been someone higher that gave you authorization as to where to drop him off. 2 rookies didn't get it from the air, okay? They didn't just not call it in. Someone made that call. Coincidentally, it just so happens to be the same lieutenant that ended up in front of my house harassing my nephew. But hopefully they can be more transparent with us. We're going to continue to be here as we continue to spread the word of the negligence of the officers that this mayor is hiring. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, the next speaker?
Yes,
And
Madam
actually,
President.
before the next speaker, I'm just going to say, I'm going to ask one thing. Corporation Counsel, is the investigation finished? I'm talking about the not the internal, that's the prosecutor's office. I'm talking about not internal affairs. I'm talking about, actually, it is internal affairs.
I think I can lend some clarity. Thank you, Council President, and thank you, the Jesus family, for coming. I expect you to continue to come and search for answers. So just please, I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. All right, Council
Okay,
President.
if you interrupt, he's not going to be able to speak. Okay.
Council President, so I'll just address you directly. Thank you for that question. So in terms of the internal affairs process, my understanding is that...
Can I know whose phone is on?
So initially, Council President, my understanding is that Hilden PD is continuing to investigate this matter, and Paterson PD continues to give all the resources that is required and requested to assist that investigation. As to the internal affairs investigation, I recently spoke with the Passaic County prosecutor, and I made it clear to her that it is the administration's request, along with the request of the council, that the internal affairs documents be shared directly with the family, including any internal affairs reports. I also requested that if and when the prosecutor's office decides to do that, because only they can do that, it's not us, it's not the mayor, it's not the law department, it's not city council, only the prosecutor's office can make that determination. But when I asked the prosecutor to share that with the family, I asked that someone from the administration be allowed to attend and someone from the city council be allowed to attend. The prosecutor was very interested in what I had to say and said she would take our request under consideration and that she will make a decision. Again, this isn't a decision that the administration can make. This isn't a decision that the city council can make, only the prosecutor, and I requested a seat at the table when she does so. And so with that being said, Council President, there's really nothing more that I can add to this situation, unfortunately, at this time.
Madam Clerk, can I have the next speaker, please?
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Ms. Angie Grulin.
Yes. Hi, good evening. My name is Angie Grulin. As you can see, I'm here for my compay, Mr. Felix de Jesus. Now, corporate counsel, correct me if I'm wrong. If an officer has a interaction with a civilian, is he not supposed to turn that camera on as soon as that interaction happens? And if the person does not want to be recorded, he's supposed to ask them on video, do you want me to turn this off? Am I correct or am I wrong?
Corporation Council.
Council?
Thank you, Council President. I do believe the speaker is correct that the camera is supposed to be on for the duration of the interaction with the individual.
Okay, so why is there so much video footage that's missing? The only video that shows up is when they have my compay handcuffed on the floor pleading with these officers to help him because his hand is broken. Why? What are they hiding? Again, who is in charge? Who told these officers what to do? Why? If I'm not mistaken, you get trained for this, or are these officers from that 2018 corrupt graduating class?
No,
are they down with them?
It's the lieutenant, the
because
captain, and all. It's a train.
Oh,
They
they're
never
the ones
fired
from that corrupt class. Because
It's like our leadership here.
you know, aren't they trained to take someone if they're drunk, if he was so drunk as they said, to take him to the hospital so he can sober up? Because I've done been at the hospital where they don't bring drunk people in so they can sober up. Why they didn't do that to him? The man had a t-shirt on. It was freaking cold as shit outside. And y'all left him. Not only did you leave him, you left him by Kennedy High School, where it's practically, if it's cold on a regular street in Paterson, by Kennedy High School, it's freezing. It's nothing but water, water, and water. But no one can find this man. So what happened? I know this man just did not, poof, disappear from this face of the earth. It's no way humanly possible he done disappeared. He always has contact with anyone. Facebook, phone call, somebody has a contact with him. How did this, my compay, just magically disappear? It's been more than 2 months. How? Miss Council President has no contact with the family. Today she contacted Crystal. Oh, I'm gonna text the prosecutor so he can contact you. So, what, you know, like, nothing. Nobody's saying a damn thing. Why? What are you guys hiding? Why are you protecting all these people? It's not fair.
Madam Clerk, next speaker.
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Mr. Elvis Durham. Elvis?
Have some answers.
Is Elvis here?
I'm ready. Mr. Elvis Durham, 283 Broadway, Paterson, New Jersey. Just going to make my announcement first. G&B Soul Food Truck. It's on the corner of Broadway and Walter Park Boulevard. Good food. So if y'all looking for somewhere to go tonight, stop by there. At the last council meeting, I had told y'all that Paterson will be open. They had pushed the date back. I just want to say I apologize to the community. Paterson Coat Factory will be open. Right now, they say Friday, April 22nd. So I don't know if that's a definite or what, but that's the date that I got inside Center City Mall on 301 Main Street, downtown Paterson, New Jersey. Now let me get into May 10th, 2022. A couple days ago, I believe last week, my candidate, Adis Mendez for mayor, I endorsed him. And then a couple days ago, after I endorsed him, one of Paterson living legends, Joey Torres, the ex-councilman, councilman and mayor, had endorsed Adis Mendez. I will be working side by side with Joey Torres. Yes, me, Elvis. We had beef long enough, so we crushed the beef. Time to bring the city back. And I'm gonna tell you what, we're gonna crush the beef, maybe for right now. Amen. But we're gonna work together, two men that the community respect. African American community respect me, and the whole city respect Joey Torres. So it's gonna be an honor to work with him, and we're gonna make sure that Otis Mendez become the mayor of the city of Paterson, New Jersey. This is the third largest city in New Jersey. Rent is up high, $2,100 a month for an apartment. Taxes is up. No community centers, buildings. No recreation center buildings. No performing arts center. No jobs. The streets is dirty. We got homeless people on the streets. And we got drug addicts. It's a different, homeless and drug addicts. And it seems like nobody don't care. But God see everything. And election season is here. Tuesday, May 10th. Woo, gonna be mighty sweet, y'all. Oh yeah. And I'm also endorsing a candidate for council at large, Mark Fisher. I will be standing behind him 150%. He will be one of the new council at large. Oh yeah. So Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. Council President, you know my family got your back, right? You know that, right? I don't have to say no more. Okay? Yes, sir. And I'm speaking for the people of the city of Paterson. Paterson, New Jersey, y'all know me. I always tell you the truth. Come behind my candidate, 150%. Y'all know I do right for the people. Y'all know I love my city. You know what I'm saying? It got a lot of bootleg people out here that say they do a lot for this city. But I don't have to speak for my work. My work speaks for itself. God bless you and good night.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, next speaker. Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Dr. Baralt. Baralt. Melissa Baralt.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Melissa Baralt, 53 Potomac Ave, Paterson, New Jersey. You know, everything I've done for the city has made me proud. I've been able to serve, and I've been doing it with a humble and willing spirit to truly mark the difference and be the spark of inspiration for underrepresented youths, parents, and residents alike. We set out to make a difference. We do it because we are clear that purpose drives us all. Purpose and intention is but a pebble thrown in a lake. Upon impact, it is no longer visible, but its ripple continues its effect. On May 10th, I want to humbly ask for your vote. Together, we can continue to make our community reach its full potential, one neighborhood at a time, knowing that we may not have all the answers, but will use data-driven facts to affect the best outcomes in our city. Paterson, I appreciate you all. Dr. Melissa Baralt, 8B on the ballot. If you mind, I'd like to do it in Spanish. Es la doctora Melissa Baralt. Les quería invitar a votar por mí el 10 de mayo para concejal. Es un honor vivir en la ciudad de Paterson, donde sirvo, y mi esposo y yo criamos juntos a nuestros hijos. Me dedico a ustedes porque creo en el potencial de esta ciudad y quisiera que me den la oportunidad de servirle como lo he hecho. Merhaba, I'm going to do it in Arabic now. Merhaba, أنا اسمي دكتورة ميليسا برال. سويتي shukran 8B. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing and discussing with all of you. Feel free to give me a call. 8B on the ballot.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next speaker. Sorry. Next speaker, Mr. Hector Stefanelli. Hector.
I need silence. I need silence. Madam Clerk, next speaker.
Apparently, Mr. Hector Stefani is not here. Ms.
Okay.
Galishaw?
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Galishaw?
I need, the chambers has to be silent.
Ms. Linda Galishaw?
Ms. Linda Galishaw?
Good evening. Thank you for your time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I first want to address the situation with Ms. Sonia Gordon. I am so exacerbated by this whole procedure. She has done such a great job at carrying on the legacy that was left by Mrs. Jane. She's done a really great job. And the fact that she's being mistreated like this by the administration, I say the administration because I don't hear you guys talking out. I didn't know that the mayor and the council people were such a team together. I thought you were supposed to be the balance between the community and the needs of the people with what the mayor was doing. So I'm just waiting for one of you to take on the battle to protect her honor, her integrity. It's all being questioned, her staff also. And nobody's moved. But this is nothing new for Mr. Andre, because every black person that he put in his administration at the beginning is just about gone, aren't they? They're gone. A game of elimination. He brought them in for the show, and then he finds a reason to let them go. You're terminated, you're terminated, you're terminated. All the black community gets is a hat, a little hat called deputy mayor, and we sell our people out for that. I'm with Mr. Rucker here. I'm about to name names. I'm not afraid to talk about the educators, the black educators that have sold our community out, the pastors that have sold our community out, the community leaders that have sold our community out. Okay, still on the wrong line. And meanwhile, we get nothing. We get nothing for the people. Now, anybody knows me, I'm not in need of anything. I'm only here because I care about Paterson. I care about the people of Paterson. And it is not happening. These allowances that have been going on, you guys have been sitting in those very chairs. So that makes me leery. I know we have a lot of people running, and it's all from those chairs. So what do we say to ourselves? You're supposed to speak out now, not when you start running. We don't want to see that now. We don't want to see that. We want to see the work as you got the job long ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was. Where is the work? Where's the work? So I'm talking mainly to Paterson. I'm talking to Paterson. I didn't come here for the council. I'm saying get something for yourselves. Don't trust the people that give you the free food at the pantry. Don't trust the pastor who sits there and he's on the Democratic ticket getting funding for his church. He's selling you out. He doesn't care if you get anything. Don't trust him. You got to go down to the very lowest level, and that's your household. See how you're living. See what you're getting out of this, because we're not getting anything. That's it. The black and browns are out. All right? All we are is a number. I'm going to ask for those additional minutes. We are not getting the service that we deserve. And until we start looking seriously at our conditions, our streets, the crime, how dare the mayor protect a police officer that dragged somebody in an alley in front of his own brother and shot him and say it was a good kill? It was a good kill, really? This young man has been missing for the longest. Where's the mayor on that? How many times must that family come crying before you? No, he's a chicken. He's a chicken. And we got to draw him out. Now, I'm going to say for the longest, I've been in the corner of Alex Mendez, because that's my councilman. I've worked very closely with him. Ever since he took the position, I've been working with him. And he's been doing a good job. He faces many battles. Many battles. This personal attack by the mayor, this game of elimination, Velez, anything he can find. Jackson, it's a game of elimination. And it's not fair, but the basic common voter has got to know that and go in there. I say drink the Kool-Aid. Drink it. And when you get around the corner, spit it out. Spit it out and choose somebody else. Laugh in his face, but don't swallow the Kool-Aid. So with all of that in mind, again, I was definitely closely linked to Mendez. But I hate to say my guy, Gal, got in the race. And again, I have been with him, my God, through all his elections. I've always believed in him. And I think we need a no-nonsense person now. He is very passionate, and sometimes that's confused for anger, but I got that same fire. I don't like the way my city looks. And I'm angry about it. And I'm asking you to consider him, Aslan Gal, for mayor. Aslan Gal for mayor this time. Because what we got to learn to do is change. We gave Andre a chance. He didn't work. Don't let him sit there another 4 years waiting for Pasquale, because that's what he's doing. He's waiting for Pasquale. Okay, we're cutting out people that deserve that seat even more. Benji Wemberly. All right? How long? Give it to the community. And now he's on the sideline. We got to do something about it. We got to push back. The machine is at our door, and we're going to have to push back. I say, I don't care if a monkey sits in that damn seat. I don't want to see Andre back in that seat. And it's up to the average voter. They're going to be giving out book bags, cookouts, everything. Don't sell yourself out for that. Don't sell your children out. Don't sell them out. Get in the fight. Your vote counts. Thank you.
Next speaker, Madam Chair.
The what? Dancing and my seniors, please be careful. You know they're facing high rent. Okay, in closing, my seniors are in trouble. Please consider going over to Freedom Village. Do something about them facing $90 a month increase on rent. Gentrification is high here. Let's eliminate that.
Madam Clerk, next speaker, please.
Ms. Wahida Mohammed. Ms. Mohammed. Good evening.
My apologies, I was speaking to the Vice President, that's why I turned it off. Ms. Mohammed, Madam Clerk.
Okay. As I said, with God's name, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to just say to you first, my city clerk, that God is still in charge. And I'm going to tell you, as a praying woman, my prayer is that God will take care of the food that's coming after you. Because we're not going to sit quiet for that. It's time out. Dumber than dumb. And now to Freedom Village, where I lived, and where I thought was for real senior citizens could get a break. But I don't know how many of you know. You had a 3% to 5% supposedly that our rent could be raised to, and no more. But all of a sudden now, your housing authority and Penrose has found a hole in that we are no longer under that 3%. That they can now come after the seniors, charge us what in the hell they want to, and we have no say about it. First they said, they sent me a letter where they put it in my door, it was gonna be raised to $28. 2 days later, I get another notice saying, no, it's going to $90. Then after we put up a little bit of fight, then they brought it down to 75. But let me tell you what they said to us, that was the bottom line. They weren't going any lower than that. And then to come to find out, your person from rent level came over and said, no, this building is not under rent control at all. So now they can come after us. But I'm gonna tell you, you all better do something about that. Because you can bring that back, and then you can grandfather us into that. Because we don't have $75 to give to Penrose. Because I'm gonna tell you, during that pandemic, I know those dogs received COVID money. I know they did. Not only that, you all gave them what, a 90-year tax abatement? So with all of the money that they're getting, why now? And I'm gonna tell you, you should have come to that meeting. Because in that room of, what, 20 of us? 19 of us look like me. And they're going to tell us that that was the bottom line. They weren't going any lower than that. But see, I know there's a God that sits high but looks low. And with everything in my being, because if you all don't do something, we're going to do something with you. And that's not a threat. That's a promise. And lastly, in closing, as Ernie Rucker loves to say, they have now told us that we are no longer in a lease. We are now month to month. Because when they do month to month, they only have to give you 60 days before they can throw you out. So you all better look into all of this, Corporation Council. We need to know what is in that whole agreement that you all did with Penrose back then. Because evidently, somebody wasn't reading. And now they're going back and doing what they need to do or want to do to us. But we're not having it. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk.
Inshallah, like brother said.
Next speaker, Ms. Michelle Tobias. Michelle?
Okay, next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker, Mrs. Olga.
Next speaker,
okay.
Madam Clerk.
Former Councilman Gao. Olga, O-L-G-A, Olga. Huh?
Thank you, Council President, Council members.
Good evening.
Interesting night tonight, huh? Never a dull moment in Paterson. You know, when you listen to the audience and you listen carefully, we hear a lot of things, and some people, contrary to what we might believe on this side, think that this administration is doing like a really good job. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. And there's no transparency whatsoever. And we have our Madam Clerk who's been attacked, disgraced. We've heard about that tonight. We've also heard about council members who have been targeted by a developer that's been hired by the mayor, big supporter of his. There's an individual here tonight in the audience who has rented space to the mayor in his campaign headquarters, who filed a complaint against me saying that I don't live in the city of Paterson. Tomorrow morning I'll be appearing in court defending myself. And I know the outcome will be very favorable for me. I'm sure I'll be vindicted. But my point is that how much of this are we going to tolerate? What is this developer all about, and who does he think he is? How many of you have been taking money from him? How many board members, zoning board, planning board are being controlled by this developer? And it goes all the way to the top. And yet this guy's got carte blanche. He thinks he can come here and tell us how we're going to live in our own city. You know, we don't have a problem with development or redevelopment because there's no real economic development. There hasn't been economic development for a few years now. But the redevelopment, buying 2-3 houses where there are 2 and 3 families living, you're putting up 20 stories, 10-story buildings, 8-story buildings, whatever the case may be, but 20 and 30 and 40 units, overcrowding the neighborhoods, congesting them. You're talking about all these handicap parking placards that are being put up all over the place. Let me tell you, it's being abused. You got cars on the sidewalks now, cars double parking, and it's to those very boards, the zoning board, the planning board, one controlled by the mayor, the planning board, and the zoning board's controlled by you guys. Autonomous body or not, you influence those individuals. You can't tell me I'm wrong because I was on that side of the fence. When I put somebody in a position, I needed to know what that person was thinking. And if he was thinking the way I was thinking and serving what's in the best interest of our city. That's not happening right now. You got a mayor that has no respect for anybody, The minute somebody goes against him or doesn't go his way, he sends out the dogs. Okay? And let me tell you something, those dogs are going to have their hands full. They don't know what they're dealing with here. That person, these individuals, they're not being very well liked these days. We have to make a difference. And I am a candidate for mayor in Paterson. And I'm born and raised in the city. And I spent 12 years on that side of the fence. I have a good idea and a good understanding how municipal government works. And what I want to say to the audience is that you have 5 people competing for a mayor seat here. You have the mayor, and then you have 4 candidates. We have a little dilemma here. As little as it may be, it's a very big dilemma. And the problem with that is we don't have a runoff election or a primary election. And it was something that I always advocated for. Because right now, our city is going to be divided between 4 candidates. Well, 5. But there are 4 competing for that position. You're going to have to pick one of us. I think there's a lot of talent here. I think everybody has the same interest. I'm hoping maybe one day we can all come together and move the city forward. But right now, we're not doing so well. Don't be fooled by that smiley, sneaky face that you've been seeing. Don't be fooled by that handshake, that joker, stay away from that. We need serious help in our city. We do not have the leadership that this individual claims that we have, and I'll conclude with this, Council President. And this was just downstairs when I came up. It says, City of Paterson, Andre Saya Mayor, Mayor's Wellness Campaign, improving the quality and quantity of lives for all Patersonians by promoting and implementing a population-based culture of wellness. Need I say any more? Because that's all I can do. The city has lost its road. They are on a bad path. And you know what? You guys play a major role here. And I'm going to say something to some of the members and those who are watching. Do not align yourself with this mayor. Because this mayor is not coming back May 10th. And if you line yourself up with him, you might not be coming back yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Madam Clerk, next
Yes,
speaker.
next speaker, Mr. Freeman, Kemi Freeman. Mr. Freeman is here?
Okay.
Okay. Where are you?
He did the public hearing.
Kemi Freeman, third ward. I was going to talk about some other things, but since we're talking about this election, I'm going to tell you, I supported Andre last election. I gave him advice to pass 2 elections. That's what I do, all right? That's what I went to school for. And my thing is, and I helped Jeff too. But I think this election right here, I think Andre has not done the job that we thought he would do. As a former teacher, I would give him a D-. And usually when I taught school, I used to get in trouble because I wouldn't fail my students. I said, no kid is a failure. They just learn differently. But I didn't know that Andre was special ed. I don't have certification in that. But anyway, yeah, I taught, right. And I'm a little disappointed at all the mayors. You know, I know Joey since high school. And I was very disappointed when things happened and he had to go away. Now, that really hurt me because I did work with Joey with the Doors Off program. That's how I got into real estate, and that's how I met a man like Mr. Florio. Now, you guys can say whatever you want about this guy, but before Florio came here, and I told you this 12 years ago in this council, that somebody, a developer, will come into this city with 2,000 abandoned buildings, houses, and all this empty space. And after the recession, look, the man came here to play Monopoly, and he's playing with real money. Don't hate the player, hate the game. He's created a lot of jobs. He's hired me as a consultant several times. and several other real estate people. Development is good in this city unless you're given these tax abatements. Florio pays full taxes. He pays full taxes. He pays full taxes. That's indisputable. So he's not running for mayor, but, and no, look, you guys, you know, Gal, I was at your thing right there. I like you. You know I like you, but you're too police orientated. I don't like what you said to those young people. They did go out and smoke weed. When I came in, they were smoking. And they came in there, so what? All right, I was a teacher. When I was young, I smoked weed too. All right? That wasn't nice. And then you think you don't want weed dispensaries. Well, guess what? I'm getting ready to put a license in for a weed dispensary. So you lost my vote because of those two things. All right? So other than that, you know, I would probably vote for you. You know, I've supported you. I've asked you. One time, the Crips tried to jump me because I had a red sweatshirt on, and Gal did come. Gal did do something. At least he answered my call. All right? But in this election, no, I'm just saying, I just got off the phone with Mitch. I talked over his kids. He says, I heard you're not voting for nobody but black people. I said, you know what? I'm going to do what everybody else do. Vote for their own. And I have no problem with people voting for their own. All right? I'm voting for one of my own, and that's Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson's father fought in Vietnam with my uncle. All right? Mike Jackson was the one who put my aunt in the mayor's seat. He's the one that did that. Mike's father used to come to School 6 and volunteer for 10 years, and we were number 2 in the nation with the drill team. All right? That's how I met Mike's father. All right? I think Mike, he's not perfect, but like I said, he's one of us, and guess what? He's not going to let nobody pimp Paterson like a $2 whore. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President.
Yeah, I'm healed.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Keith.
Can I please?
Mr. Keith Watson. Mr. Watson? Keith Watson? Okay.
Madam Clerk, can you please state the name again?
Yes, Keith Watson. He's there.
Madam Clerk, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can hear? Mr. Keith Watson.
Okay.
Keith Watson, 341 East 31st Street. What I'm here to talk about tonight is that I'm still trying to process it. I'm still trying to find out and figure out if there was nobody here to talk to the person or stop the person from dragging Sonia Garden. I said Sonia Garden because we grew up in Paterson. I mean, we and the family's close. And when I heard about it, I mean, it seemed like it was a dream, but it came to reality. This woman that sat at Madam Jane's feet, she learned for years. And you're telling me that she doesn't have the knowledge of vetting the petitions? When I read what the judge said, that the method and the practice of the past and the present city clerk, he will not overrule that. And the person who would want to drag her into the court did not understand that it's going to cause a ramification and come on, this is, woman, let me tell you something, since you don't understand. I'm going to tell you something. Farrakhan, General Powell, the Vice President, Kamala Harris, Harold Belafonte, all of these people have Jamaican roots. All of these are smart people that left, their parents leave from Jamaica, came here, and they've made a life here, just like me and Sonia. I believe Sonia should be treated just like any person who sits in that office. And Sonia is, let me say it clear, she's a Jamaican like I am. And I guarantee if it was Madam Jane, they dragged, like this whole place would have burst up in flames.
That's right.
The color of our skin, that's our race. Where we born, that's our ethnicity. She is black as any one of us in here. And I'm black as anybody in here. She is one of us. And we should not allow that anybody from the second floor to treat any one of us or belittle us the way they did her. She loved the city job. And so you guys should love the city job. No one should want to take her away from the city job. It's terrible. It's despicable. And it hurt me as a Jamaican. And Andre know better. And if he don't know better, then he should know better. You can't drag the city clerk from the duty of the city to the courthouse. And I'm here to let you know that the Caribbean community has come together. And let me tell you all here, if you don't know, we have the numbers. Please wrap it up. We have the numbers to change any election. It's just that we don't come out for any reason. But this time we're coming out. And on the 23rd of this month, we as the Caribbean Alliance, we are going to endorse Alex Mendez for the next mayor of the city of Paterson. I'm done.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes,
Council President.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Councilman.
Very quickly.
Go ahead.
Madam Clerk,
Yes, sir.
with all due respect, I'm sure you can acknowledge that no one has gone harder to defend your office than you than I have.
Yes, sir.
And I refuse, and I apologize, I don't normally do this, but I'm not going to let somebody come to the microphone. We had to peel him off of that microphone coming for the clerk one time before. Defamation of character came directly from you. Now when we utilize, what we have to do here today, people, is pay attention to political pandering. Just not even a year ago, when you claimed that she did something with regard to a festival that you was trying to put on, you came for her, your own people. No worse splinter than one of your own, than from your own wood. And you came for her. Now you come here acting as if you're going to be the savior for her. That's embarrassing. You should check yourself, man. Listen. What you just did was embarrassing. That was an embarrassment to your people, to our people, to everyone. I had to peel you off of that podium, but you was coming for the clerk. Now all of a sudden, you doing it because Andre. Stay consistent.
Madam Clerk, next speaker, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Next.
Please.
Next speaker is former Mayor Torres.
If Mr. President, through the chair, if you see that I may need an extra minute, I'll ask for it. I'm going to try to stay to my awarded 3 minutes.
No.
But I may get a little bit because there's a lot to be said. And I want to start with those wonderful words that Mr. Gilmore said, right, of divine intervention. And so real leaders, when John Q. Public comes to this podium as an elected official, is to hear their concerns. And I am so disturbed because I'm coming here by a public. So this is my intro, okay, please? When we hear about a missing homeless person, and there's a poster about wellness, community wellness check, but yet it's months, and where is he? No, I know, but when I'm saying wellness
That's right, he wasn't homeless.
Because if he was under the influence, and they were gonna take him, that's a wellness check. That's a wellness check, okay? So how could he say that that's what he wants to do? And that's why I'm here, okay? And then we go on and hear about homeless. Listen, as mayor, I'll take care of my own homeless. Paterson homeless, I'll take care of them, right? But what happens? When they come and they transport the homeless here to feed off the social service program that all these non-for-profits getting the grants are living off of, right? Now, when we go to their neighborhood and they see a black or brown person, it's profile and they chase us out of their town. And now they hear panhandling in the dark, in the front of intersection, on every corner, after they come from Eva's or wherever they come, and I ain't gonna mention no name, unlikely that, right? Because I believe in that, but for my own residents. And they come from up county and they come here and they never leave. Please, the homelessness. But I wanna come back to what he does, divine intervention. Section 8, Housing Authority, the redevelopment of Penrose was penciled under this individual, as well with all the other multifamily and conversion property under the Hope 6. Okay? Now, there's no way that if the FCC, Madam President, if the ACC, which is the annual contribution contract that was entered into, which is the developer's agreement that gives the tax abatement and the Section 8 for all those units under the auspices of when we took down Christopher Columbus or Alexander Hamilton, we entered into Penrose to give those Section 8 apartments to those former PHA residents. Okay, so in Freedom Village, we set aside a few apartments, right? Because most of them are Section 8, for hard worker, postal woman like my dear Wahida here, right? And grandparents and the whole nine. And yet they're saying no, but it doesn't stop there, right? It doesn't stop there because that increase, the only reason they're getting away with it is because there's something that calls rent reasonableness also. And we're going to get to that a little later. But the fact is, hey, listen, this is the guy who sent the reporter over, okay? A former councilman, Mr. Hume. So give me a few more.
So, Mr. Torres, if I may.
I'm going to finish up.
Mr. Torres,
yes.
Just like I've let others speak, you can finish.
Thank you so much. So, the FCC, to the commissioners, govern that. But here's the loophole. They not only found that loophole that I created with the Hope 6, and Hope stood for housing opportunities for people everywhere. Housing opportunities for people everywhere. And yet, they want to increase her and keep her at a 1-year rent because she didn't fall under those guys. But she's senior. Now, the real thing under this administration and that, and now the councils, I'm calling you out, because the last thing that I did in order to bring equity and rent reasonableness under the Section 8 program, as we went to develop this city, the Planning Board Redevelopment Plan, remember that, council, that you adopted? Not 1, not 2, but 3? In every single section of this city. That's why you see it building everywhere. Because when you were councilmen and planning board commissioners, it was approved, the master plan. Now, the main thing I'm saying right now, to bring her relief and bring clarity to all the seniors, what happened to the rent leveling board? Not only he took it down, he refused to yield to this board and appoint another commission. And I challenge you to activate that board today. Because there, then, they can't raise the rent however they want. Okay? Now, the other piece is that the last part that came into rent reasonableness, it goes that the increase has to be only half of what the consumer price index is. So if a senior gets $700 increase, they can't raise it $350, Madam President, is what I'm saying. So I ask you to look at the ordinance and everything on rent leveling and do the board, the commission. Appoint the commissioners and activate that board. Now, that's taking care of all those problems. Now to where I came from.
Council President,
So-
point out, Council
so,
President, yes.
But we could go a little later.
No, hold on.
If
Let me finish my
One
statement, and then I'll take questions if you want.
No, I'm not going to take question. I just want to be fair and across the board,
I'm
Council
sorry.
President.
Mayor, and you are very aware, you were mayor here for 8 years and you were councilman.
No question, fine.
And you know that there's no questions.
No question, okay, fine. So
And
let me do my
You've
statement
been
now.
given, but what I did is I try to be fair when others asked for additional time and I gave it to them. I wasn't gonna cut you off. You've had additional time, so I'd like you to just wrap up.
Okay, so I'm wrapping up. Why Charles Florio sent a letter to the Attorney General to go ahead and stop Madam Clerk again from the petitioning, using and abusing his power, using Madam Clerk's, his office in the law department as a usury to Madam Clerk. Okay, but I started Forward Paterson 2020, picked up petitions, and we started the Felon Voter Registration Project to register felons that have been convicted and give them the right to vote. They are the ones who's going to make the difference in this race. But Charles Florio, the reason why, was that I went ahead and
Council President, point of order.
I got 4.
You say to wrap up, and he's taking 3 more minutes to wrap this up. Come on, let's be fair,
I'm
Mayor.
I'll wrap up. What I want to do, and he's Florio guy too.
No, I'm
he was
Louis
put in by
Velez.
Florio, but let me say this.
I am Louis Velez, and I don't approve your message.
pass this.
I am Louis Velez, I don't approve your message.
All right.
Come with facts here. You was disappeared 3 years and a
I
half.
want to give.
And you don't know what the
some
city was
documents,
suffering.
Madam President.
We are done. Madam Clerk,
Mr. Mayor,
Madam President.
you were sitting over there, you know the rules.
I've given you enough.
I just want to give you some documents. I want to give some documents to the clerk that she could give you all copies, if I may.
Okay, so first of all, I need silence, please.
Okay.
I'm asking everyone to please. And I'm asking you, Joey, you have 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay.
There are 4 Oprahs here that I Oprah, Madam Clerk. And it's all has to do with a land deal that the administration and some of these council members voted to give a deal to Florio and Silk City Development. In taxes, he paid the city $900,000 and gave them almost $6 million. No certificate of occupancy for all these buildings. No inspection. No assessment. So here, please investigate it. I call for a full investigation and a moratorium on the building. Councilman Jackson, this is the proof that you have that you need. And Councilman Mendez, this is why he didn't want that endorsement. This is why he forced Madam Clerk. So
Thank
please,
you very much.
I call for a full investigation and there's a loophole on the planning and zoning ordinance that has to be changed.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to continue building stuff at 300% capacity and raising the rent off of Section 8 and then don't even train people.
My question is,
Okay.
Council President.
Thank you.
He was 3 years term.
Thank you.
He was 3 years term mayor. He was 3 years term mayor. He was 3 year term mayor. Never changed that loophole. Never changed that loophole. You was the one that did the bundles. You did the wonders. You was the one that did the bundle properties.
Yes.
Come on.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk. Officers.
Yeah. 3 years mayor. Three terms mayor. Never changed the loophole.
Madam Clerk. Yes, ma'am. Madam Clerk, next speaker. There's one, last but not least, one more speaker, Mr. Casey Melvin. Mr. Melvin.
Have some respect. Thank you. Officer, take care of him. That's a threat.
Councilman, please. Mr. Melvin, you can begin.
Thank you, Council President. Very, very interesting night. One to go down in history. April 12th, I got to remember this night. April 12th, Tuesday, April 12th. Casey Melvin, 17 Bell Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey. So I have a few announcements. my first announcement is, if you guys don't know, ladies and gentlemen, that I am a candidate for City Council at large race. I heard people talk about somebody new, somebody who's interested, boots on the ground, 25 years of community service experience. Give me a shot. 4B on the ballot. May 10th is the election day. Early voting, point of clarity. For those who are watching, those who don't know, you have 4 days, as I understand it, to vote. 4 days to cast your vote. May 10th is the actual day, Tuesday, May 10th. We also have May 6th, May 7th, and May 8th. And if I'm wrong, please correct me after my comment. May 6th, May 7th, and May 8th, you can also vote. So you have 4 days to cast your vote for myself, 4B, for councilman at large. I also want to announce that my position as the field operations director for the Paterson Healing Collective is launching what we call a Healing Space Initiative. It's an after-school program for the whole family, primarily for young people, for students, but for the whole family. There's been a constant cry in our community that there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. Our young folks, there's nothing to do. The Paterson Healing Collective, in conjunction with our Board of Education commissioners, our superintendent, as well as our Department of Recreation Director, Benji Wimberly, is putting together, hosting an after-school program for the entire family. It will be recreational activities, music, games, tutoring, social service connections, as well as mental health services for the entire family. So let everyone know, on April 29th, we launch in School 28. 2 weeks from there, we'll be at PS Frank Lautenberg School number 6. So we'll be in the 1st Ward and the 4th Ward, School 28, on April 29th. And 2 weeks later on Friday, we'll be at Frank Lautenberg School number 6 to provide activities, something for our residents to do. The work continues. Social services continues. This is not a political ploy. I've been doing this for over 25 years, and I'm here to announce that the Paterson Healing Collective is launching an after-school program from 4 to 9 p.m. for the entire family. Please join us April 29th at School 28 for our grand opening launch. It's the Healing Space Initiative for our community. From 4 to 9 p.m. 4 to 9 p.m. Also, I want to definitely deviate from my announcement and talk about a meeting that I've attended at the Freedom Village, and I'll wrap up very shortly, at the Freedom Village regarding housing. I sat in that building. A tenant called me, Michelle Tobias, and asked me, Casey, could you please come out? They're raising our rent. They're trying to evict me. And I responded. And to my surprise, it was a room full of people with complaints. So I implore the council, if we can establish a moratorium on that rent increase, whoever chairs the housing or anything relative to housing, to please look into deeply what they're doing to our senior citizens. It's very vital. Housing is an essential component of a person's life. When I heard the individual say that a lot of you tenants should be lucky. You should be lucky that you're only paying what you're paying. Market value is $1,200 for a one-bedroom. So you should be happy that you're getting what you're getting. I think this gentleman, to me, is confusing market value with affordable housing. So to make a statement as such, to me, says, like, you can leave. We can get more for this. It's about the dollar and not about the well-being of our seniors. So I do implore you guys to look into what's going on. And I know that there's enough intelligent people in office running these departments that we can come up with a better solution. So please, by all means,
Mr. Melvin.
For the benefit of our community, look into that. Thank you, Council President, Council members. I appreciate the time. 4B, Councilman at large, thank you.
Move to
Thank
close
you very
public
much.
portion.
Okay.
Move to go.
I understand we can. Mr. Eunice, I cannot.
Move.
Okay.
Move.
Move to close by
Second.
Councilman Abdelaziz, second by Councilman Khalik. Madam Clerk, roll call to close the public portion.
Yes.
And close the meeting because
Motion
we are
by
done with the
Council-
agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilman
No,
Abdelaziz.
moved by Councilman Abdelaziz and second by Councilman Kalik.
Khalid, yes. Roll call to close the public portion of the regular meeting, April 12th, 2022. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. Council President, if I may go over 2 minutes because I do want to address Ms. Mohammed, Casey Melvin, everyone in Freedom Village and the senior citizens and renters. So you're absolutely right. What they're doing right now is they found the loophole in the state statute. I'm going to give kudos to the councilwoman to my left. In committee, we are working to give the rent leveling board some teeth, right? That board members are actually not volunteering, that there's going to be paid positions, because when you're in a city like Paterson, just like the planning board and the board of adjustment, we need a rent leveling board that's going to be active, that's going to be working for the seniors and the tenants. And to the people running, this is going to come out of committee next month. We're dotting our I's, crossing our T's the legal way. There is a loophole under NJSA 2A:42-84 that anything that was built after 1999 does not fall within rent leveling. Hence, Freedom Village was built after 1999. But the work of Councilman Kine and our committee members, we had an hour-and-a-half meeting yesterday, right, to discuss a carve-out to protect the seniors, and we're actually trying to get more legal information to see that rent leveling should cover all dwellings. I don't care when they were built.
Right.
So we're almost there, but we want to dot our I's and cross our T's. And to people run, that's the truth. You'll be getting that item in workshop. We're working very, very hard on this, that council members will appoint members of the rent leveling board. It'll be a functioning board. There'll be an executive director running it. If there's an issue, you go right to that executive director, it comes in front of the board. They will get a stipend for meeting, because when you bank on volunteers, they don't come to meetings. So the Councilman Kine has been spearheading this, and the people watching at home, she's been pushing this on top of Corporation Council, on top of me as a chair, and we're right there at the finish line. And she's been fighting for Freedom Village, and that's what she yelled at me yesterday about that. But we want to make sure we have the carve-out in for the seniors, because I think this is where we're meeting with the lawyers, and she'll piggyback with me on that.
Yeah.
And we're trying to protect people that live in dwellings that were built after 1999. That's 33 years, I said, right? No,
Yes,
23
30
years.
years.
Whatever years.
We're 23
So
now.
we're almost there. I hope in May this council will have the rent leveling board. I can't explain why it died or why I haven't been on the council all that long. All I can talk about, I don't want to look in the past. I want to go into the future, make sure. I'm not running for office. This is actually, we're rolling up our sleeves and doing the right thing. Both of us aren't running in May, and Flavio Rivera isn't running in May, and Shaheen Khalid isn't running in May. That's the committee, which we're really digging in there, no agenda, to try to give the protection to our seniors and all tenants. And secondly, 6th Ward residents, Easter egg hunt on Saturday. I want everyone to come out to School 25. We haven't had it for 2 or 3 years, but we are having it this Saturday. Bring out your kids, 10 and under. We have a couple bikes. If the kids find the golden ticket in that egg, you'll be walking away with a bike. So I hope to see all residents and 6th Ward residents on Saturday. It's been a while when we get together. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
I just want to say that we did have a rent leveling board. And I can tell you, my appointment was Charlotte Sepperson. And what happened was, they did not show up for the meetings. It's like what happened with us last week. When you don't have a quorum, you can't have a meeting. So they would constantly do the meetings, but they didn't have the quorum to do a meeting. So that's how we decided that, I think that we needed to, they need to get a stipend like the other boards, Planning Board, Board of Adjustment. But Councilman Albaziz know that I've been fighting to get these laws that are on the state books that are so outdated and dinosaurs that we need to, let our state officials know there's so much stuff that's so bad that needs to be changed. And this is one of them with what's happening here with us in the city. And I see that, and I've been saying, and Al was right, I did yell at him yesterday. I did yell at him because because I said, we ain't putting no year on it. Everything that's built should fall under it. And it has to be, to me, that's a fair way of doing it. So for you, Ms. Muhammad, we are still looking into this, and like you said, and I said it, with the components in that building, too many components came in there, which was not, and 7 years later, you wouldn't know that this would have came up. But that's why you got people, we need to have lawyers digging into like other lawyers do. And they can dig and they can find a loophole where they can get in and say, oh, you know what, they forgot to cross this T. Now we can get in this way because they didn't dot that I. So there's so many things that we need to get done. And I just want to say to the people also with the speeding, we have so much speeding throughout our city. And there's another law that needs to be changed. There was a bad accident on my block on 27th Street. This man tore 3 cars up. I mean, totally told them. And he only had $5,000 worth of insurance because that's the only thing the state required him to have. So now you got 3 cars probably worth $100,000 that now can't get fixed. They got to get fixed from their own insurance company because the state only required you to have a minimum of $5,000. You can't even replace a car with $5,000. So those are some laws I think that we need to change and we need to address. And also, I just want to say also to the family, to the Jesus family, and hopefully Corporation Counsel or a prosecutor office or even the Attorney General, I'm not quite sure, to help give you some guidance on where you need to go. Let me tell you, everywhere I go, I have this picture that I carry with me everywhere I go, and I make few copies, and wherever I go, I leave them. I just want to say to the family, I leave them in the stores that I go in, so people may see them, or, so this way they'll have it. But hopefully we get some answers. That's what we want, is some answer, just an answer. Give me some kind of answer. And we have to be able to and it's not that we're not trying here. There's only so much that they're going to tell us. And I think sometimes if they could tell us more, they just wouldn't. I don't know why, but if they can just give us some more information, I think that would be very helpful. And I just want to say,
Councilwoman,
I know.
do you realize that we're closing the
I know we
public
are.
portion?
Yeah, he started it. Well, he started it.
Excuse me, don't
I
speak
know.
out.
That's okay,
There's
sweetie.
a process
I
for
know,
this.
but I don't.
You're going to speak again. We're just closing
No,
the
I'm not gonna
public
speak
portion.
again. Oh,
Okay.
maybe one more time.
Okay.
All right, but I just want to say, I know we only was closing the public portion. We still have, there's so many things here that we need, and for families, and I always said, and I said it before, about looking out for each other, helping each other. I said it, I always gonna say that, because you know what, that's how I was raised. I don't need to know you to look out for you. And I always say that to people all the time. I don't need to know you to look out for you. So with that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm definitely going over 2 minutes. You said it, though. So, a few years back, there was an assistant attorney general. His daughter, there was some things that happened with his daughter. They had every office, the prosecutor's office, the federal government, federal agencies, local police. They had a full manhunt on for whoever committed this crime. Here we have a young man who's been missing for like months, and we have not, the administration has not resorted to putting forward the resources, all resources. We'll put a helicopter in the sky, though, to try to figure out who's selling drugs on what corner, but we can't spend the money and put the effort into finding someone and valuing certain people's lives, because some of our lives mean less than others. So when you shot in the backyard, they'll quickly publicly make a statement saying that, oh yeah, it was a great shooting. But yet, if something else happens, we can't say anything. It's under investigation. You could walk into an ambulance and never walk out again, never walk again, never breathe again. Yet, you know, it's just amazing. The hypocrisy here. People, please do me a favor, wake up. We got one opportunity here. One opportunity here coming up to right wrongs. Right wrongs. This mayor sat down there and voted against every single thing the former mayor did all the time, then got the seat and started doing the same thing he was doing. If you insert to the truth and the keep it real notice, come to me, because I'm gonna keep it 100% of the time. Got the seat, started doing the same thing he was doing. Then he comes to the podium and calls him out for something that he was doing. Let me give you the example. When they took down CCP projects, they gave it to a developer for free. Gave him $100 million. He then collects 130% of the value of the vouchers. He also has 55 other properties all around that place, Ms. Muhammad, where he pays $74,000 for all 54 properties. Who created that deal? The deal makers. Yet they come to the podium saying something completely different. Those deals that have been going on forever, that same deal that you're on. See, let me give you an example. I like to give examples because they're easier to understand and digest. If I own a farm and I say, hey, I'm gonna give you all of the fruits and vegetables so long as you feed the children. And then you take all the fruits and vegetables I give you, but then you decide to tell the children they gotta pay for it. Am I obligated to continue to give you what I had an agreement? No, you didn't hold up to your end of the arrangement. We gave that place a 90, not we, because I was not on this council at that time, a 99-year tax abatement. So if they want to mistreat our people, then why won't we just rescind the agreement? It's been going on all the time. This is the kind of things that's happening. Anyway, I'm going to move it right along. Madam Clerk, I will never, I don't care who it is, you already know, they can never come to that podium and embarrass you. And I apologize because he was correct. What the mayor did was tasteless. It was childish. It's what he normally does. To try to discredit you and your professionalism, but you know, Madam Clerk, and I'm sure you will acknowledge that I don't care who it is, I will never let them happen. And when that gentleman came to the podium the last time, he got it from me then like he's getting it from me now. That's embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself for doing that. It's ridiculous how people come here, the hypocrisy, but yet you're gonna check the people that they're endorsing. Man, listen, you could go ahead with that. You're talking to the wrong person. Talking to the wrong person. That's a totally different subject. You came to the podium and discredited her, called her out of her name, did all kinds of things. Officer, he's fine. He's fine. He's a little tender. He's a little tender. The truth doesn't go down very well for him because he's full of garbage. To come here and try to embarrass the clerk then, and then you're going to come here as her savior. Get out of here, man. That's nonsense. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be embarrassed. You should go back, and all of those same people that you talked about, you should go back and say some kind of prayer on that tonight, because what you just did, what you attempted to do here tonight is an embarrassment, not just to you, to all of us. to all of us. What you came here and did the last time, and then try to come here and act as if you're here in difference of just because the mayor did it, because he's in difference of your guy you're supporting. That's childish. You should grow up. Anyway, Ms. Muhammad, more important things. I've spoken to Corporation Counsel, sent the notice to him before. Forget rent leveling. We set the ordinance that says it's the 3.5%. And if they don't want to abide by that, forget the loophole. Then I'm going to make the motion that we should rescind any agreements. This guy is making money hand over fist, billions of dollars on our community, on our backs. And for him to say something like that is an absolute embarrassment. So, listen, all right, I'm sorry, Council President. I know you're being very patient with me, and I appreciate it. Tomorrow night we'll be at the Masonic Temple. DC Young Fly, Funkmaster Flex. It is a voter registration rally. If you're not registered to vote, come on out. If you are registered to vote, it's a free event. Just come on out. We're trying to make sure that we can stop this nonsense that's going on here. That's just going on here. Our city is being ran rampant by people who don't give a damn about you. You are nothing but a number to them. That's everybody. If your family member turns up missing, if you go into an ambulance, you don't come out, if you can't afford a comfortable space to live in, to come here and say he's going to do something about the homeless, you had multiple opportunities to do that and never did anything, yet you're going to come here and say, I'm sorry, Council President, I'll rest. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik?
My vote is yes to close the public portion.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let me just take a few minutes to address some of the concern from the public portion. But I'd like to talk to, this message is going to be directly to our taxpayer, to the resident of the city of Paterson. And we all been hearing about what's been happening with the clerk department. But let me just bring clarity to our homeowners and to the resident of the city of Paterson. The person that Andrea says been trying to take him out of the ballot is Alex Mendez. And it's just so unacceptable what he's been doing, using taxpayer dollars all this time, taking me to court and taking the clerk department to court to try to remove me from the ballot. And the sad part is that the clerk department, very professional, they count my ballot in multiple occasions. Last week, we spent 2 days in the court debating the case. The judge ruled in our favor against him because that process has been established for many years in the city of Paterson. And the clerk also expressed that and explained that in court. And it's so sad that he was not even satisfied with that and that he appealed at the appellate court. And all that, what he planned to do with this, he just has this election hostage and tried to buy time because he cannot run his record. High crime in the city of Paterson, high taxes, sewer high, garbage all over the place. Where are you, Mayor? Where are you, Garcia? Where are you when the senior need you? All right? Just where are you? When the Felix family need you and was knocking on your door, do you respond? You just don't care about the city of Paterson, plain and simple. And you've been just hoping that I run out of resources to stop fighting in court. But God is great. Thank God I'm already blessed more than I deserve. I'm going to continue fighting. I'm on the ballot Paterson resident, and it's time for change in the city of Paterson. I'm just saying, Ernest Roque said it the best. He's been the worst mayor of the city of Paterson. But that's going to stop this May 10th. He doesn't care about the staff, his department, and he's been using that tactic with everybody that go against, his decision or what is good and convenient for him. He's been running in multiple occasions with the same process, but now it's not good because he feels threat. Everybody knows in 2018 I finished second on the race, and I've been fighting, and God gave me the strength to continue fighting for this community. I don't want nothing for myself. I believe that we could have a better city. I do believe that by making the right decision for Paterson, for a Paterson resident. To our senior, through Madam President, to Corporation Counsel. Corporation Counsel, if you could please look into, there was a situation of 50 Belmont Avenue when Penn's Road changed the management company. And because they changed the management company, they took advantage of the loophole in the law, and they tried to increase the rent tremendously. I was on that meeting. We put a big fight against them. They went back to it. But if you could take a look at it, because the information that I'm getting is that a lot of those entities, they change in management company, and they just eliminate the lease, and they start a month-to-month process, and they start bumping the rent as much as they want to, and that's something that have to stop. And it's been happening, Ms. Mohammed. They tried to do that with 50 Belmont Avenue. I was in the room. We stopped that. But that's something that has been happening. If you could take a look at it, it has nothing to do with the rent leveling board. This is something that they've been using, and they've been trying to do that. So if you could take a look at it. Paterson resident, thank you. Thank you for all the calls. Thank you for your concern. And
Jackson,
we're keeping the fight. Let's man the fire in the balance. God bless you all. Madam President, I'm going to have to recuse myself. There's no more to fight. All right. I'll wait to close the meeting.
so
Hold on, Councilman. So, Councilman Mendez, your vote is yes to close the public portion?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. My vote is yes.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Velez?
yes, Council President, allow me. I don't want Councilman Mendez break the quorum. So, first of all, let me direct the issue of my sister Wahida Mohammed. As a statutory chair, I will address it in the office with the four members also. They fight one side, we go to fight the other side. A statutory agency, we go to bring Irma Gorham, we go to bring the Corporation Council, and please, as a witness of the seniors, I want you in that meeting, please. Okay, so we could take that step because I want to make sure that the Housing Authority followed step by step and preserve your rights and the seniors' right. Okay. Meanwhile, Ruby Cotton and Councilman Abdulaziz and his committee work that side of the rent levy part. Okay. But to get that concern and other concerns. So another thing we're saying here, but I'm going to try to answer some of them, Council President. Corporate Council, you heard the cries of the Jesus family. And I had noticed that had been dumped into the prosecutor's office. If it's possible, of the power of the legal department to write a letter to the office that oversees the prosecutor's office and tell the prosecutor's office to release that right away. You're putting this family in this depressed struggle with the situation. Not you, but the system is putting the family in this position. They need an answer. We want to close this case, but we want the Jesus back. And let me say this. There was a young lady disappear in our city. And unfortunately, they find her murdered behind the brownstone. They activated the FBI. They activated the satellites to see what happened in the area, to find out when was the last time that person was seen and last time was dropped there. So I don't know why the FBI have not been involved in this, okay, and also use all the technology and resource they have. So, jeez, guys, somebody dropped a nice notice here. But Madam Clerk, just be here for a minute. At least I addressed that part. Some people come here, and try to disinform the community, all right? So the same developer that he says I'm Florio, I'm Louis Velez. Every money that I take, donation that I take for anyone in the city of Paterson is reported to elect. I have to tell Joy Torres to make sure that the donation that he gets for his buddy, make sure is in elect file and presented. Every single money, not black money and coming from other countries and invested here. And he was mayor 3 terms. Now in 2022, he find a loophole? Why he didn't find that loophole when he was a mayor and fight for the seniors? Ladies and gentlemen, this mayor was disappeared from this city for 3.5 years, okay? Never came up here talk about the quality of life, never came here talking about the seniors, never came here talking about high taxes, nothing like that. Now he's supporting somebody that probably isn't his level, okay, to talk about that. Well, and then three, the Jesus disappearing as homeless. He don't know what homeless means. Respect the family, and coming over here out of term and out of context and acting like he was in something else. Respect this. He was a mayor, and he wanted respect for all of us when he was a mayor. I give him the respect to one point. His respect starts when mine ends. So that's for that. And let me tell you something. He was the one that created the bundles. Remember the bundles property? And auctioned them. But let me tell you a secret. They didn't auction properties. They auctioned tax liens that gave the right to any developer to take to court and force a foreclosure. And he was a mayor 3 terms, and he didn't know that. I think I learned more than what he have learned, or more hair than he have in his head. So that's one. And last but not least, Madam Clerk, you was taken to court because you are the Madam Clerk in the process. It could be any clerk. They have to go to court for that process. Her job was not in question in court, ladies and gentlemen. They misinforming the community. Her job was well proved that she did it right, and to the limitation that she had. Every year she does it. She was not in question. So don't buy this nonsense about taking a Madam Clerk to court. It's her job to go when there's a dispute. You want to see what they were challenging? We received the letter as candidate. They were challenging Mendes petitions, unregistered, not found, 14. Out of town that signed those petitions, 21. Duplicates petitions, 122. Name and address endorsement, not matching, 214. Signature problems, dozens of it. The thing is that the law is so light when it comes up to election, they let them go. But in May 10, ladies and gentlemen, look who's backing him up. People that they could control him to do what they could do in the city. People that don't have no clue that they want the city moving forward. And every time I go to speak, and even in debates, and now he want to get up and leave because he don't want to hear the truth. But the truth is that we don't want no more crooked people in this city. We want to clean this city more than it is. And let me tell you something. He don't talk about his age charge. I didn't interrupt. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. Well, your endorsement came here to interrupt me.
Councilman Velez.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't interrupt him to speak. Okay.
No.
He rebutted me.
I'm not going to allow him to interrupt you to speak. I just want you to wrap up.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in my time, and this is my time. Council President, I will wrap up. On May 10.
Councilman, just so you know, your time was up, but just like others.
Okay, yeah, I will.
But I'm asking you to please wrap up.
And I will wrap up in 2 seconds like everybody does. On May 10, don't get fooled like this. Let's take the real leadership into the office, second floor, ladies and gentlemen. My vote is yes, man. I mean, he wanted to debate me, we could debate one-on-one.
Thank you, Madam President.
Sure. Motion to close.
You do, Councilman, you do realize that everybody spoke, right? But I have the last vote?
I'm waiting for you.
Okay. So I just want to, and I'm not going to speak as long as my colleagues, I'm probably just going to address 2 things. I mean, today, wow. 2 things I'm going to address, and that is the De Jesus family first, and to Corporation Council. If today, one of the speakers came up to say that I made that call, absolutely I did that, absolutely. Everyone knows here that this city has 160,000 residents, of which we have many issues going on. So it is unfortunate, right, that I am not every day, at least every Monday or Tuesday, I am reaching out to the prosecutor's office. And again, I've told the family when they were here last week, that they were all here last week when we had to cancel, and I stood speaking to them, okay, about I don't want to lie, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make things up and do the whole campaign thing. I'm not doing that. And I'm okay when people come here and they say that, you know what, they're running for office because they're the best thing since sliced bread. That's okay too. That's okay. I don't care about that. But right now, I'm going to say this. Did I make that call? Absolutely. Did they answer me? Absolutely not. Did I text? Absolutely yes. And the only response I got was, it is still under investigation. That was it. And that's all I can give you. I cannot, and it's unfortunate, none of us here, there's not one person on this council that can answer where your family member is, where your brothers. So that is the first thing that I wanted to address. And the second thing is how here we allow everyone to come in, even when they ask for the additional time. It is the duty of the council president. It's in my purview. It's no other council member could say give them extra. The council president is the one. And I did that today for everyone, because I wasn't going to sit here and say yes to you and no. So I allowed that. But even with that, members came here knowing people that have sat on these seats as council, people that have been here and been council members and mayor, to come and do the show that was done today is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And it's an insult. So with that said, you know, I get it. It's politics, right? But I'm a firm believer, and I'll continue to say this: no weapon formed against me or anyone shall prosper. That is all I'm going to say. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes to close the public portion, and I'd like a motion now to close the regular meeting.
Move to close.
Yes.
So moved.
No, may I announce the vote for the public portion first?
Okay,
The
I'm
vote is
sorry,
7 in
Madam Clerk.
favor, 2 absent. The public portion is now closed. May I have a motion to close the regular meeting of April 12, 2020?
Moved by Councilwoman
Second.
Cotton, right? And second by Councilman Velez. Council members, you all spoke. Please just vote
Yep,
on closing the meeting.
okay.
Roll call, Madam Clerk, to close the regular meeting.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the regular meeting of April 12, 2022. Councilwoman Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council President, I'm going to be real quick. I had a tablet giveaway this Saturday. I received a call from the Bergen County Links, and I called St. Paul's Apostle Church, and we gave away 50 tablets for families. It doesn't necessarily have to be children. What I have found, I want to say thank you to the Bergen County Links, and thank you to St. Paul's Church for opening up their parish hall so we'll be able to do that. But what I have discovered is that seniors needs to start having tablets, because everything is getting so that you got to go online for everything. And he told me that I would be able to go into senior buildings that they would qualify if they're on Medicaid or any kind of social services, or live in a HUD building, or that they'll be eligible for that. So I'm going to start setting that up real soon. Also, I have my meeting on Thursday coming up at 5:30 at 147 Montgomery Street. It's called Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. We meet for 1 hour. If you can make it at 147 Montgomery Street. I just want to say to the Madam Clerk knows that I'm here with her. I can't help her because of the what she has to do, but I'm always here with her. And I just want the community to know out there, they can't do nothing to Madam Clerk.
That's right.
They can't do nothing. Madam Clerk is here to stay. The only one who's going to move her is us. And we have no plans on removing Madam Clerk. People don't realize what you have to go through to get to that level where you cannot be removed. So Madam Clerk, and to me, I think they went the wrong route. The route shouldn't have been through her office. The route should have been through the Superintendent of Election office. That was the route. So Madam Clerk, they took you through a lot, but you did everything right.
Okay.
But they can't do nothing with you. And that's what I like about it, that they cannot do anything, they cannot remove it. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you to your staff for all the ladies that stayed here to 12 o'clock at night to go through all of that, which you had to go through. I was here with you, Madam Clerk, with your staff, with your secretary, of checking everything. I just wanted, and you did a fine job. And they didn't find nothing wrong with the job that you did. So, but they went the wrong route. If they could have asked me, I would have told them which route to take. You know, that wasn't the right route, going through the clerk's office. Should have been through the superintendent's office. But anyhow, I just want to say also, our National Council of Negro Women is having a Harambe breakfast on April 23rd, if you're interested in coming. Please see me, or you can see Miss Wahida Muhammad. It's going to be from 9 to 12 at the Brownstone, so please, to come to the National Council of Negro Women, Paterson, Passaic County section, April 23rd, at the Brownstone from 9 to 12. I think with that being said, I want to say good night to Madam BA, Corporation Counsel, our CFO, Madam Clerk, our Phyllis, our Administrative Secretary, and to you all out there. Continue to continue to help out. And don't forget, grandparents still do food giveaway on Mondays. Please, you got to come out there on Mondays. And every third Saturday, they still do the food giveaway. Anything you need, and they do clothes giveaway. They do all of that. So there's a lot of things that sometimes you may not know what's going on, and you just have to ask, and you'll see. But with that being said, to all my council colleagues, is this Saturday? Is it third Saturday, this Saturday? Yeah, this third Saturday coming up. It's a food giveaway, Hamilton Avenue and Rosa Parks Boulevard. Please come out, come out, come out. They have plenty of food. Thank you to my council colleagues. I want to wish you all a good night. Thank you. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ms. Muhammad, I'm so happy for you. I'm proud to call you a friend, and because you another one. The keep it real gene runs thoroughly through your bloodline. Is that not the same person who you would have to come here and question before about not receiving funding? The same person that came to the podium tonight, who was advocating on behalf of, man, the hypocrisy. This is exactly why the city's in the condition it's in. So with that being said, and everyone else is gonna say it, because everybody's on the ballot for being mayor, to be the mayor, you know, I just urge people to look at the consistency of people's track records. How do you vote for something one time and then you speak against it the next time? You're only waiting to get to have the money exchange pockets, to go from that pocket to their pocket. That's really what this is all about. So I never supported any of those projects that they had. In fact, I was the one who kept shining light on it, trying to bring light and educate other council members who consistently vote in favor of this guy, these people making astronomical amounts of money off of our community. And they do it and spit in our faces. They spit in our faces. When they're collecting 130% of the market rate in rent, and they don't provide the basic services, lawn care, garbage collection, from the 13.5 in Houghton Street project, the space that you also stayed on Market and Mill. Now to these people are taking advantage of us, and everyone down the line voted in favor of all of those items. Check the record: 8 in favor, 1 against. For good reason. We can't continue to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, listen, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm an advocate, consistent advocate. I'm on your ballot. 4A, I believe it is. I don't even know what the ballot position. Look for the name. Forget the number. All these other numbers is all the same thing. You're going to get the same thing, just a different face in a seat. You want something different, you must go where somebody has proven to be doing something different. Ms. Muhammad, I'm going to post on my Facebook page. I think you should watch it. Roland Martin, he had this phenomenal, somebody sent it to me. It talked about the condition of communities like ours, impoverished minority communities, right? And he talks about specifically what the issues are. because people get elected to do certain things and have no idea what they're doing. They're trying to figure it out. How do you hire somebody to run a $1 million budget who's never done it before? Deion Sanders all of a sudden became the head coach at Jackson State University. I apologize, Council President, I'm rapping right now. And he pulled them out of the tournament, and now they want to sue the school because Deion said, why are we going to continue to play in these games where everybody else can make money off of us? That's what's happening in Paterson. Everyone else is making money off of us. So first, you have to have someone who understands it. Second, you have to have somebody who's willing to make that change. We have neither of the two right now, and we'll have one of the two and if we went in another direction. Anyway, tomorrow night, Masonic Temple, voter registration drive. Come out, get registered to vote, find out if you're registered. We're checking everybody to see if you're registered to vote. And Madam Clerk, hopefully we'll register another 1,000 people. And anyway, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman, since you mentioned it, I know we are closing, but next week, Tuesday, April 19th, is a deadline to register to vote for the May election. So the clerk's office will be open from 8:30 a.m. until 9 p.m. And of course, I'm pretty sure the superintendent of election will be open. That's the deadline date, April 19th. Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Just before my vote, I want to take this time to thank all the Paterson resident leaders, former elected officials for the great support to endorse me for this project to be next mayor of the great city of Paterson. And also, I would like to mention, the work ethic of the clerk department. They went over all my petition. I took the petition. I was one of the first one, and I was one of the first one to submit it. They double checked on my petition. They went through the whole process, and I was certified a couple of days later. Let me remind all the taxpayers what this mayor have done, and what he continued doing, using taxpayer dollars to take the clerk department to court, and also taking me to court, hoping that I run out of resources. But God is great. We continue the fight. I'm glad and blessed to have my name on the line to be your next mayor, because I do believe that I could move Paterson to the right direction, giving the respect that our taxpayers deserve, making sure that they get the service that they're paying for, making sure that we bring safety into our community, that we put Paterson law and order in the city of Paterson, and that's what I'm looking forward to do it. And Paterson resident, as you all know, you very often you hear Councilman Velez mention my name, and I don't respond to him because he doesn't have respect for his daughter and for himself. And let me just mention to all of you, you all remember, and it's just, I invite that resident to ask him how much he paying rent in one of the Florida's apartment. I'm blessed to be a homeowner. I'm blessed to, not asking for a favor, but the market rate for a two-bedroom apartment is $2,000 to $2,100. Ask him how much he pay for a full house. Let's be respectful. I don't care what he called me. Let me invite the public to go back to the couple of meetings before when the speaker came in front of the mic and mentioned the woman that he killed on Route 46. Look how he acted. He was about to jump and hit the guy. You know what? I don't take that. That's the reason why I don't respond to him. And he could just mention to whatever he wants to. If you want to debate, I'm open to debate in a public forum. Listen, all I want is the best for Paterson. And that's the reason why I'm here. Nothing for myself, just for Paterson. Let's continue praying for our community. And I'm here. My cell phone number is 973-930-1436. I'm Alex Mendez. I'm running for mayor on 5A. God bless you, Paterson. And have a blessed and very powerful night. And once again, thank you all. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk. Have a good night.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Once again, the invitation was done publicly. He accepted to debate anytime, but I got to debate with facts and real issues. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm not lobbying what the mayor is doing. I'm talking about the process of Madam Clerk went and she proved that she did the right job. Well, he needs to prove how he did his job. Totally different. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the same individual, okay, that first of all, whatever history he put out there do not represent his age, either the time that he's here in Paterson. For example, he stated that he studies finance, but yet he cannot tell when he brings the $25,000 in and report it at least as an income and buy a car, okay, and not check it before. No, he talked about me. So hold on, I got my minutes to wrap up and leave. So at the same time, he started finance in Rutgers University, but he cannot keep his house out of foreclosure. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, let's start talking about facts. This is a person that receiving an endorsement of an individual that only betrayed the city of Paterson using the resource of city of Paterson and stealing taxpayer money. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to know who we're going to put in office. You want to debate? Listen, you pull out Louis Velez, and Louis Velez know where the city want to go. The city won't fall in crooked hands. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Paterson. I love Paterson, and I got to defend what is facts and what is true and real. He haven't talked about his 8 charges or 7 charges that he has still pending and telling the community that he will be okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, he want to debate me? I will debate, but with the truth and the real thing on table. Not just walking around, shaking hands and telling people, I will give you a house, or I'll give you a car, I'll give you this and that. Government don't work like in other countries. It works with the law of the United States of America. And before you do something and point out, you have to make sure you're not around threatening people and telling people you're going to break the neck and calling people other names, sir. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my wrap up from my debate tonight. Stay tuned for me and him one-on-one. Bring the true and real leadership forward. My word is yes. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we are closing.
You want me to speak for 2 minutes, Councilman Mendez? Huh? No. All right. Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
Nobody was trying to take you out of your office or anything. If any litigation goes on in court, they'll call you to go. It's your duty. It's part of your job. So what was portrayed out here, like everybody, the administration, mayor, everybody came after the clerk office, that is all false. People, do your research. Don't believe, and we defended you. We provided you with 2 attorneys, not 1. So that's why our clerk was in the right path. That's why Mr. Mendez is validated as well. It's part of the process. We got to live with it. It is politics. This is the best season. So just deal with it. Do your research before you make your decision. That's all I'm going to say. Good night, everyone. My vote is yes.
Thank you,
Once again, thank you for your service, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome, sir. The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. The regular meeting of April 12, 2022 is hereby adjourned. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much. Good night, Madam BA, Corporation.